Ha! Boom, baby. I'm back. It's me. Hi, everybody. It's me. Hey, Bergman, good to see you. Hey, guys. Jeffrey, what's up? So, I'm back from the nether. I didn't die from COVID, which is pretty good news. And lots of work needs done. I lost a... For those who don't know the backstory, I think it might have been like a week or two ago now, I caught COVID, which was really unexpected because I don't leave this room like ever. But I decided to one time. I went to IKEA and I suspect that's where I caught it. So that put me out of action for a bit. I was like sitting on the couch back there, completely dreading life because right across from me is like my workstation, and it's just like a constant reminder of like how much I'm not getting done. So that was kind of dreadful. I was sort of like couch bound, so to speak, watching like, I don't know, old 2000s Disney movies on my CRT. But after a while I got a bit better. I still have a few symptoms, which kind of sucks. I'm not sure if this is like the COVID cough or if it's just my asthma kicking in because of the cold weather. Either way, it's been annoying. But while I was recovering, it's been crazy, guys. So while that was happening, an opportunity fell into my lap. Funding opportunity from the Australian government, no less. Which is like, for game development. I know, it's like nuts, like unheard of. Australian government usually never in a million years supports the games industry because we practically don't have one. And so when I caught sight of that, I was like, well, I'm getting on this because like I want to ship my project someday. That'd be sick. But the catch is the submission deadline is in 10 days. So I've been like trying so desperately hard to just like get everything together to look presentable. So I've been like working on models. I've been the level designer I contracted for my Epic grant. He's been doing stuff. I've been doing stuff. It's just been complete, utter, like non-stop work. I haven't slept in over 24 hours trying to do this. And I'm starting to feel kind of well enough to start streaming because there's this last few models I need to do. So I'm gonna do. I got the Bakugan turret. You guys remember that? Hell yeah! So I have it modeled and everything now. I just need to do the texturing for it. And I don't know. I was just feeling kind of lonely, so I'm gonna live stream it. Excuse me if I'm still coughing. This is what I've had to put up with for the last 2 weeks. And it's been, yeah, see, I can't control it. It's annoying. I'm gonna interrupt so many sentences. I just really hope it doesn't happen while I'm drinking. I take short sips. So anyway, I'll show you the stuff I have completed because there's been quite a few things. So, desktop mode. Where you guys see it? Cool. So here's how the turret's shaping up so far. Excuse me. God damn. So here's how the turret's shaping up. I just need to do the texturing. The UV map, I understand, looks so strange. Why on earth would you UV it this way? Well, there's a few reasons. Excuse me. So I haven't combined all the objects yet. But basically, what's happening here is I'm about to make the texture for this. And I don't know how many of you remember. Excuse me, I might slow down a bit. So I don't know how many of you remember the video I did about Gabby's texturing when I was texturing Gabby's character model. Because what I learned was, excuse me, for Gabby's character to get her model to work the way I want it to, with the cell shaded line work and all that, you need to UV map it a specific way to get sharp lines. Now, I didn't do this with Gabby because I couldn't be bothered to learn it, but Arc System Works, developers of Guilty Gear Xrd, Dragon Ball FighterZ, they developed a lot of the techniques that I use for Project Feline. One of their techniques was a really weird UV mapping technique where you kind of organize everything into like perfectly aligned X and Y axis. And the reason that is done is so that the lines, the inner line work of the model has like no jagged edges. So it's a little complicated. If you want to know more about the specifics, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole video just on that topic. I think search Raymond Cripps ILM map and you should find it, but I will find the link for you guys just because I'm that nice. Excuse me. My cough was not this bad 15 minutes ago. I think it's just like stream nerves or something. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? But yeah, it's the Guilty Gear style, pretty much. Excuse me. God, I hope I'm able to get through this, guys. Yeah, but I really want to stream because this is like interesting stuff to me, and I wanted to share it. But I'll show you some of the other models because this is like texturing, right? I'll show you the stuff that's actually kind of finished. So just this morning, I worked on the fan spinning blades, which are now there in the game, which don't look like just cubes anymore. So there's going to be a glowy material on the tips, which doesn't show in Blender, but it shows in Unreal. But this is kind of how the model looks. It's got the nice cel-shaded style, all of that. If you go to the, let me just check. Okay, I am recording, cool. I like to record these as well, so I can find clips for them later. So if I open up the UV editing, you can see that, yeah, this is actually probably the neatest one I've done. So if I open this up with the, with the texture, no, it's a bit hard to see because of all the UV islands, because I've overlapped a lot of... Oh, here we go. This is a bit easier to see now. But yeah, basically, you see like these bits where like it's at the edges, and I know that like there's a bit of artifacting going on. Don't worry about that. It's like not a big problem. But you see how like the actual lines are like perfect. Like they're not jaggy or anything. Like they're perfectly like you can zoom in as close as you can and the lines are still sharp. That's kind of what the Guilty Gear technique's all about. Now, I haven't seen how this technique applies to non-characters, so I'm learning this as well. So I'm just kind of experimenting. I haven't done it perfectly because yeah, you can see up here there's some jaggies on like the upper bit here. You can kind of see it come in here. Yeah, you see some jaggy lines. But yeah, you can kind of see the difference now, right? Like on this side right here, because this is where that bit of the texture is, you can see that there's a bunch of jaggy lines, but then every other line is like really smooth. So yeah, it's like a cool little hack, but it's also kind of a pain because you have to like UV map things in a very specific way. And don't UV map normal things like this, guys. Don't use this as a lesson of UV mapping unless you're doing this specific style. This is just like a style thing. But anyway, that's I have it in the engine as well. This is how it actually looks in editor. So I'll pop in and show you guys. So that's how it looks. Excuse me. There's a bit of flickering still because I haven't done the surface normals yet, but for this demo I need to submit for this grant application. I don't think they're going to care about errors like this, so I've elected to ignore them for the moment in place of more urgent matters. But we got the fans going, which is pretty cool. We also have a few more models in place. I'll find, yeah. So this has all been from the last week I've been doing. We have a jump pad. Here's the jump pad model. You guys in my Patreon Discord server would have seen this one. So this is how it looks in Blender, and I guess, yeah, it's really more impressive if I show you it in Engine. Here it is in Engine. Now, you might notice that something weird about those arrows, but here's the little catch about that, right? See, the arrows are actually programmed to follow the camera. So if I, like, rotate the camera, the arrows will always face the direction of the camera. So if I, like, go in circles like this, you can see the arrows are constantly facing me. They don't, I don't know what axis that is, but they stay, like, pointing upwards. And, yeah. So that's, like, how the jump pad's looking. And it's weird because, like, it looks like, probably, just from this, that there's been a lot of progress happening in the last few weeks. And there has been, like, behind the scenes, really, and all that, but it's kind of funny how, like, when you see visual progress, it feels a lot more like progress, but it's kind of like the same amount of progress as doing all of, like, the back-end frameworks and physics code and all that. So it's weird. I feel like, because this is kind of like a stepping stone in the project. We've reached, like, this milestone, I think, or the one we're working towards now is basically, like confirming that we are out of prototyping and we are going, like, we know what we're doing, we know what this game is about, and this is, like, trying to realize that vision. Because a lot of the first couple years of development, for those who had been following, a lot of it's just kind of trial and error, experimenting. What is actually a fun game? Like, what is this going to be? And I think at this stage, I can say with a lot more confidence that those decisions have been decided. And the thing is that once you decide those things, then you can do the fun stuff like the models. And in this case, we've had to speed it up a bit because of this grant opportunity. So I want to try and make the game look its best, so that when people look at this and decide, oh, should we give this guy money? They like, it looks the part, you know what I mean? So that there's a few more as well. We've got new grind rail models as well. And I understand that the tiling is not perfect. I haven't figured out how to do the tiling well yet. It seems to bunch up at area because it's a spline mesh component, but I don't think it's going to matter that much at the moment. It's better than having a default cube, So, excuse me. But yeah, so that's the new grind rails. I've also, like, the cubes, you might notice that they look slightly different. And that's because there's like a shading bug on them that's been there for years that I fixed like the other day. Turns out I had like the specular value set wrong and it made them look really washed out. So now they look very vibrant and colorful, which is how they're actually supposed to look. So every time I look at these, my brain like goes like, wait, these look different. And that's because this is how they're actually supposed to look. In the current build that you guys would have, they're very washed out. And that was like a bug I did not get around to fixing until yesterday. So that's another thing fixed. And yeah, again, here's like more of that grind rail. This one's really stretched. But if we go over to like this one, this kind of looks more or less what I'm after. So you can I've replaced all the grind rails with this new model. And I guess the kind of like thing as well, because one thing I do get a lot in my comments is how the environment doesn't match the character. What are you going to do? Why don't you just make everything cell shaded? And I think I've addressed this before, but I'll address it now with this progress because it might make more sense now. I don't watch a lot of anime, I will disclaim, but I've studied it. I've looked at anime. I don't really like watching shows typically, but let's look at what's a good looking anime, like Your Name or something. Let's look at Your Name. Now in Your Name, gorgeous movie, absolutely. Is there a picture we can use of like an environment or something? Yeah, like this one, all right? So let's take this. Now you might notice something, because everyone says, Ray, just make the entire environment cell shaded so that it matches. One of the reasons, I will say as well, one of the reasons why my environment doesn't look like it matches Gabby is because this environment would not match anything, because it is a debug environment. It has grid textures everywhere. Literally nothing would go with that. So it's not just Gabby. Anything you put in here is not going to match. But that's just, that's what a game in development looks like. For anime though, because everyone keeps suggesting, make the environment cell shaded, but look closely at this frame. Okay, we've got this character. She's cell shaded. And by cell shaded, what does that mean? That means like outlines, visible outlines, usually means 3-tone shading. And we can see that here. We have the skin tone, like mid-tone. We have shadows and we have highlights on the hand. 3 tones usually. Some studios do more, some do less, but 3 tones is my typical standard that I look for. But you'll notice that the background, like these railings, have way more than 3 tones, and the trees have way more than 3 tones, as if they'd been painted or something like that, or photographed even. And that's because anime environments aren't actually they aren't cell shaded, and it kind of surprises me the amount of people that don't notice that, because I've watched Your Name, and I've watched like Hayao Miyazaki films, and that's it really. Like I don't really watch a lot of anime, but I think a lot of people who follow my game, I would imagine, are more into anime than me and watch a lot more than I do. But if you pay close attention, you'll notice, especially like look at these rocks, dude. All right, look at the rocks up in this corner. You see the way the light's hitting it? That is a lot more than 3 tones. That has been like hand painted. So this is something I've addressed in a devlog, but it's hard to demonstrate it with the game being so early, right? But now we're getting to a stage where some of the game's environments are starting to look more like anime. And I'll bring up an example right now, because for this grant thing, I've in addition to doing models, I've been doing a lot of administrative work as well. So if you go to the website right now, I've added a few new screenshots that none of you have seen yet. So keep this a secret, okay? I'm just using this to make a point. So here's a new screenshot from the game of one of the environments. But however, this is on a different branch, by the way. So I'm not going to show it in editor right now, because this is like what my level design is doing. So this is like kind of getting closer to like, something like your name or something. That's kind of like, that's our typical guideline, right? So you'll notice that we try to do the same kind of things. We still have a bit to go on it, but if you look at like the rocks, it's gonna like tint blue every time I hover my mouse over it. But if you see like that stone, you notice how it's like it's got like a bit of a smeary hand-painted sort of effect on it. So that's one thing. I did try doing this in the last build, but we didn't have an environment like this yet. So it wasn't as obvious. But to bring this full circle, because you might be saying, well, then you make everything pastel and just the character's cel-shaded, right? Like in this frame? Well, not exactly, because another thing as well is you'll notice is that in anime, is that basically, excuse me, basically anything that moves is cel-shaded, because it's cheaper to cel-shade. Because you need to draw lots of frames for moving objects, and it's just cheaper to 3-tone shade them instead of hand paint every frame. So usually hand painting frames like this is reserved for like static backgrounds. So this rail and that rock and all of that don't move, but the characters do, which is why they have less detail. So in my game, I've kind of and it's a bit hard to tell because this is the debug scene. It's not as pretty, but the general idea is that objects that should move or can move will be in the cel-shaded look, as if they had been drawn on the cell of the game frame. Where objects that aren't designed to move, like the basic level geometry or terrain, they won't be cel-shaded. They'll have a different effect on them. Now, we're still messing around with effects. I still need to strengthen filters and all that stuff, but that's kind of the direction we're moving in. So that's why a lot of these assets, because I figured it would be really cool if all of the, I call them hero assets, so things that Gaby's going to interact with in the entire game, like jump pads and fans and grind rails and cubes, all of those are going to have the cel-shaded look, because these objects, well, it's like you want to draw attention to them, and they're kind of like, you know, put in the world, placed there, you know, and it just kind of helps. I think, to me at least, when I look at this, Gaby looks like she kind of blends in more. I know it's a bit hard to tell with the grid texture, but if you imagine a full environment, you'll start to, you know, you'll start to see it. So here's the gate, by the way. I didn't show this earlier. Here's the gate in engine, and this is kind of how it animates. So if I touch this cog, you can see that it like activates it, and it just kind of clips through the roof there. But you know, we do a decent enough job at hiding it for a demo build. Should be good enough. But yeah, so that's just to bring everyone up to speed. Kind of the gist of what's happening. I have like 10 more days to sort out my entire submission, and I want to get all of my development responsibilities out of the way as soon as possible, because that's like most of the like the tedious kind of work. So excuse me. So I want to finish up this turret, the Bakugan turret. Let me like close all this stuff. Excuse me. I'm sure there's probably a lot of questions in chat. Sorry, I haven't been reading chat. I've just been catching everyone up. Let me just find the turret, because that's the main focus of today's stream. I know it's off schedule, but I just need to get this work done, and I want to go to bed at like a kind of reasonable time tonight. So I wanted to just kind of get this out, and yeah. Excuse me. So here's our turret. Let me just check chat real quick, because I'm sure everyone's like, probably. I've shown quite a bit. I know there's lots been happening behind the scenes. I just haven't had time to... The devlogs haven't caught up to the canon yet, guys. So a lot of this is going to get explained in a devlog later. We're just kind of like in high pace right now. I kind of don't have time to make devlogs right now. But after like, you know, after like April or May, I think I'll probably start like documenting this stuff, devlog form. Oh, hey, Spyro. So yeah, here's the Bakugan turret. We got to do some textures on it. So that's I'll get Photoshop open. Thanks, by the way. Sorry, I've been missing all of these notifications. Thanks, RealFD, for subscribing 9 months, and for gifting. You've gifted a total of 20 subs to this channel, dude. Well done. Gifting a tier 1 sub to Pepsi Man and Pecure. Very cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Hirons. Well, yeah, I mean, it's... I kind of feel bad, because, like, for taking any credit for it, really, because, like, just in the last week, I haven't, like, it's just been models. Like, that's all we've been really doing. To me, it doesn't seem like that much, because it's not, like, back-end programming work that's all invisible. Like, to me, this is all, like, the fun stuff but it doesn't really like change how the game works. Like the code, I haven't touched the code at all in the last month. It's exactly the same. I've just made it prettier. So I don't know, because now that I've been in production for a while, or pre-production for a while, I guess, it's like, it's interesting. I don't know, because the way progress feels depends on the kind of progress it is. Like, programming progress to me feels like, to me it feels like a lot more, but to everyone else it doesn't feel like a lot, because you don't see it. It's all invisible. But if you show people stuff like this, they go like, wow, that looks like so much progress. And, well, yeah, it does look like, I guess it does look that way. But I don't know, it feels like the programming was a lot harder. And also we have like this big urgent deadline, so I've had to like really push myself. Like, again, I haven't slept in like almost 2 days now, I think. If I stay up tonight, it'll have been 2 days. So it's come at a cost to do all this, and I still have more to do. I still need to make like trailers and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna stop catching everyone up. That's the story of what's going on. We're gonna get this turret, and then I'm gonna go to bed and be happy, because you know we're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna get this turret up. So I'm gonna go I need to open the texture file. I think I've set up just an empty Photoshop project. Or Photoshop document for the turret somewhere here. So yeah, I've made like, I think 5 or 6, maybe more models, but they're not like super high poly. Like, they're very simple, and I haven't been able to do as many as I was wanting. I really wanted to do that drone enemy, but that'll have to wait till like June, I think, because we have another milestone in June where we want all the models done, but we'll see what happens. For this upcoming one in 10 days, it's like, I had to like prioritize, you know, it's like, yeah, we're not going to get all of this done. Like, this turret, I wanted animations for, but we're just not going to have enough time by the 28th to do that, because there's much more that needs to be done as well. So, you know, you got to like pick and choose your battles. But having something there is better than having nothing there, is my attitude. So as long as I got something. Let me just, I'm looking in the wrong folder, excuse me. And yeah, for those joining, if I'm coughing a lot, it's because it's like my COVID symptoms still. I get the feeling they're going to be sticking around for a while, which is a bit annoying. So I apologize. I started feeling like mobile and ambulatory about a week ago, but yeah, I still have this damn smoker's cough going on. So let's have I think it's turret. That's the folder. Okay, Photoshop file. So it's just like an empty gray texture, bunch of template stuff going on, but we're gonna populate this. I think I gotta export the UV layout, which I haven't done yet. So yeah, I'll export the UV layout so I can actually trace this in Photoshop. So I'm not going to combine these all yet, because a lot of here's the brilliant part too, and this is why I like kind of feel bad for taking any praise for this, because a lot of this is like, you can shortcut so much of this. Like, for example, this part of the turret, you see like this base bit, I didn't model all of that. I only modeled a quarter of it and just mirrored it, which is like, I know anyone who's done modeling here is like, oh yeah, classic. First trick in the book, just, you know, mirror tool everything, make everything symmetrical. But literally, like, all the modeling you see, I only really had to do a quarter of it and then just smartly mirror everything. Perhaps my favorite example of this, I will show real quick, was the jump pad, because this, I only had to model like one cross section and I like mirrored it 8 times. Like, this area I've got highlighted, like this part. That's it. That's all I had to actually model. And then I copy paste and then mirror, 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 mirror. And then boom, you have a whole object, which I just find that stuff really cool. So anyway, back to Bakugan turret. That's what we're all here for. Bakugan turret. And I call it the Bakugan turret because, like, come on, it looks like a Bakugan. Pretty cool. Is Bergman here, by the way? Because Bergman was showing me his Bakugan collection earlier, and I wanted to give him a props for digging out his Bakugan. Excuse me. Stream will be nice background for your English essay. Well, I hope so, man. I'm sorry about all the coughing. I hope that isn't too distracting for your English essay. Anyway, let's export this UV layout. Sorry, if I'm a bit manic, it's because I haven't streamed in a week and I haven't slept, so yeah, it's gonna be like, I don't know, I'm just, it's like game jam vibes, you know? It's like when you haven't slept like all day, game jam moment. That's kind of how I feel today. So, export UV UV layout, 0 opacity. I think 1024 should be a perfect fine texture size. I'll rename this turret.uv. Export UV layout. Then we will drag the UV layout into Photoshop. I'll have a sip of, I have water today. I don't have tea or coffee, because if I have any more coffee, it's not gonna be good, so I'm just having water. By the way, I just forgot to mention, because after I got COVID, I was kind of like out for a week, and I, you know, basically couldn't work. So I brought back the Gabby, Hoodie Gabby merch for a bit. The merch ends on the 22nd, so there's like 4 days to go. So if you missed out, like I'm back to work now, so don't feel like any obligation at all. But if you really like the design but you missed out last time, this will be the last chance to get it for the foreseeable future. So head over to projectfeline.com/shop if you want the Hoodie Gabby design. It is available for, I think, yeah, 18th, 19th, 20th, 4 more days from today. And then we will be bringing in a new season of designs for our next drop, which I will have to do at some point. Thanks, Red. Yeah, well, thanks to you guys as well, by the way. Like, I was, like, really nervous, because I never get sick, like, ever. I have not been sick since starting this project, which was, like, 4 years. So, yeah, every time, like, something like this happens, I always feel, like, immense pressure, because it's, like, there's nothing I can do, and I just hate it. I hate the situations where I have no control, and it's, like, I can't do anything. Like, I am, like, you know, last week the coughing was even worse, headache, sore throat, and it's hard to, especially when you're invested in creative work, like long focused creative work under those conditions. I tried, but it's just like, it's difficult, it's challenging. But I will say, like, all the supportive and kind messages telling me, like, you know, at your own pace, man, don't rush, like, that made me feel a lot better. So thank you guys. I felt a lot more at ease. I felt like I wasn't disappointing too many people, so that was nice to have. So thank you. Now, so the way I do this texture, it's going to be a bit unconventional, but I have my ways of going about it. Because these objects are very primitive, roughly speaking, I'm going to be taking like a very kind of, I'm just going to be using like smart objects. I'm not going to be using a tablet. So this is all going to be like mouse texturing, boys, and yeah, it's all of that stuff. So no tablet involved here. I'm just going to be like dragging cubes around and filling in these UV areas. And luckily, because I've UV mapped them into squares, this approach is actually quite easy in this way. So what I'm going to need to do is just get the base colors, and then I'm going to do like some lines inside the model. And then there's also, you might have noticed, there's an outer line layer as well. And this is achieved by taking the polygons of the model and extruding them out and inverting them and changing it to a different material. So that's modeled in, all the outline stuff, but I want line work on the inside of the model too, which is where the texture will come in. But we'll get to that when we get to that. At the moment, we're going to start with the basics. We're just going to have the, base colors. And speaking of which, I should probably open the concept art because I have all my colors on my concept drawing. So for those who want to see what the turret's supposed to look like by the time we're done with the stream, I'll open the concept drawing real quick. Oh, thanks. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, Bullfrog is here. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for digging up your Bakugan collection, by the way. Perfect timing, because here we are working on the Bakugan turret. And I have to say, you have an impressive collection, good sir. He's got the gauntlet, he's got the mat, he's got the little transformer thingies. It's pretty epic. And the white Naga, of course. I don't think I ever had the white Naga, so I'm a little jealous. But yeah, Spyro, that is a good point. Visual stuff is a lot more fun to watch, but it is funny. I feel like, well, yeah, it kind of makes devlogging quite difficult for me, actually, because I really like doing the visual stuff, but I I try not to get carried away with visual stuff, because I was especially earlier on in the project, I was very obsessed with like, can this game be fun without any visuals? Because I know that if it was, then I probably have a good game. Like, if it's playable and people enjoy it, and they sit down and play it for like more than a half an hour without any graphics, it's like, yeah, I'm probably going to be fine when I put graphics in. That's sort of the attitude I took. It's just kind of hard to know exactly when that point is, because again, it is my first project, so it took me a while. But now it's like, I think we're going to start expecting to see more visual progress in the next, well, in the upcoming future. So, let me change the color of this, by the way. All right. So one thing I'm gonna do real quick is change the. I'm gonna just use the Photoshop file as the texture here, so I can see in real time what I'm doing on the texture map. So to do that, I'm going to replace the reference, because I have a file pinned in here. Excuse me. I have, well, I don't want that one. That's the wrong one. I have the subsurface scattering map, I have the inner line map, and I have the base albedo map. And I want to change the path of this file to the Photoshop file, and I'll change it back to the TGA export later, once we actually finish it. But then we're going to go to the materials, change the, this to, delete that. Where's base? There we go. So here's the actual Photoshop file now projected onto the turret. So we can see that that gray box I added is covering this area. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird way of doing it. There's probably a better way of doing it, but this is the way I do it. I kind of switch back and forth in Photoshop and Blender to see what I do. So if I move this and save it, and if I just like reopen the document again, you can see that it updates Photoshop file, and now it's like showing me this part. So that so that means that I think I want all of this in gray, in this color. Well, I'll pick the actual, this is just like a temporary color, but I'll pick the actual color in a bit. Because yeah, it's basically just base colors. That's basically it at the moment. Okay, so that doesn't quite, so I think I skipped this. And let's drag this out here and see what that gets us. There we go. Okay, this is looking more like it, but we still need the interior is still the wrong color, but the exterior is all fine. So this is the part we're focusing on. So we just need to get the inner, I don't know where the inner parts of that are stored. What happens if I do this? Okay, no. Oh, well, that also needs to be that color, I think. Yep, so that's fine, actually. I just need to figure out, because one thing I can then do is I can hop in here and figure out where these faces are on the UV map. Oh, they're down here. Interesting. Okay, so those are those faces. Right. So what I would need to then do, I'll make a... Ooh. I'll turn this into a folder. That's primary. But yeah, I'm just using black cubes, and I'm just using a color overlay to change their color. So the way, it's a bit of a weird way of doing it, as I said, but it gives me a lot of flexibility for later, because what I can then do is, if I want to change the color palette of the turret, I can just like change the color of these blocks in the texture file. I could also do like a material thing, but this should be fine. I'm probably not going to change the colors that much. So let's save that and bring that back to Blender. And do we have the interior polygons? Oh yeah, we do. Okay, cool. It's just hard to see with all the shadows in the way. So let's up the specular strength. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got, that's all the right color. Cool. All right, what's up next? Excuse me. Thanks, Bullfrog, for sticking around. Are we gonna have different variations? I don't know. We'll take it a step at a time. We're just having the one for now, maybe later, but for now I'm just focusing on the one. Oh, someone's got 10k crates. Ooh. Ooh, someone's been saving. Sorry, it's just catching up on chat messages. Excuse me. Alright, so what's up next? Excuse me. I know, I gotta get my cough under control. Oh yeah, so that back bit, turns out I got that by accident. I think that, no, that's not supposed to be that color, so I need to figure out where that is on the texture file. If I can select it. There we go. Oh, so that's this, okay. So then what I need to do then is shrink that down. So I just need to avoid this top bit and make that a different color. But I think this stuff up here should be this color. And it's just a mid-gray at the moment, but I will change it to the corresponding palette in just a moment. All right, so let's check how that. So now that should, yeah, that's white again now. And I think, oh yeah, so that must be these side bits then. Cool. All right. Now, some of you might notice that there's like a wireframe projection. That's just because I have the UV overlay on the texture, and we will turn that off when we do the final export. So don't worry about that. It's just a guide for the moment. All right. So I think, let me think for a second. We're almost done in terms of that color. This really should be renamed tertiary. So I'll rename it. $8.6K. Ooh. Damn, boy. That's a lot of crates. How many do I... Oh, that's right. I've got infinity. It's my stream. I get to have all the crates I want. Isn't that epic? Excuse me. God damn. All right. So now every day. God damn. Sorry, I've got to. I can't control it. It just comes in. It was fine for most of today. Must be the cold air or something. I don't know. I think just, yeah, I'm gonna have more fluids. That should do it. All right. So, what color am I doing next? Oh yeah, so I want to do the interior of the turret dome, which I think is up here. Oh, come on. There we go. I think it's this part. I'm pretty sure that's where I UV'd it to, but we'll see. So if I... Oh, no, that is not it. Excuse me. So it must be lower, I think. Or, I don't know. Actually, I should probably just look at the model. Oh yeah, I know where it is. It's here. Oh, come on, let me move. Oh no, it's frozen. Stuck on something. All right, let's save the document, relaunch it. This does happen from time to time. Let's reopen. But yeah, I will say though, texturing, not my favorite. It's not my favorite part. But these assets are considerably easier to texture than a character, so I will not complain too much. Could be much harder, could be much worse. All right, so now, yeah, there we go. We got the interior parts here now. And yeah, I actually don't have a modeled bit underneath here, but no one's going to see that, so that's fine. Excuse me. All right, what's up next? I guess we'll do the dark bits on the inside. So yeah, there you go. I think that's the secondary, I want to say, or maybe that's tertiary. Yeah, no, this would be quaternary, I think. Let me just spell check that. Oh, you can press Alt-R? Oh, nice. Thanks for that. I did not know that. Thanks for the tip. So, yeah, let me just rename these. This is like, I think it's pronounced quaternary. I learn new things every day, because there's primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, and then there's, I don't know the name. I don't know the one after that. But yeah, fancy English words, am I right? It's pretty cool. So that would make the darker color secondary. So yeah, let me actually color pick the quaternary color, which should be this. So I'm now picking this directly from the concept art. The secondary color is this darker gray, like that. Let me get a zoom in. It seems to be like picking up different values depending on where on the image. Okay, that should be fine. So the quaternary, I think that's this part, I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. So you say Alt-R, that's the refresh. Wait, so if I open, I think I have to open the texture here, I'm guessing. Oh, hey, there you go, refreshed it. So there's my actual Photoshop document. That's very handy. That's going to save me a lot of time. See, real FD really is real. That's how you know, because he gives me these great tips. All right, so wait a second. So that back, okay, cool. So now I need to find the other, there's another part that's supposed to be, I think it's this, I want to say it's this part of the texture. While I'm doing it, because now I'm kind of getting into a flow. Yeah, there we go, that's that part. Nice. So yeah, so now I'm getting to a flow. How are you guys doing? I haven't asked, I'm sorry, I've just been kind of preoccupied. How's everyone doing? Hopefully better than me. It's been a hot 2 weeks. Lots can happen in 2 weeks, I think. A lot certainly has happened to me in the last 2 weeks, you could say. But how's, I remember, is he in here in chat? I don't think so. I don't think Minecube's here, guys. So remember Minecube, he always has like some kind of thing he's working on that he'll grace us with from time to time. You woke up when I started streaming? Dude, how about that timing, huh? That's pretty cool. You know, well yeah, because like last night, I think I'd stayed up doing like, I think I was doing the fan or the jump pad, I can't remember which. But I remember, I think by the time I'd finished merging source control stuff, a bunch of other also documents I was doing, by the time that had like, I was done for the day, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning. And usually like, you know, after I work, I need to like wind down. So, you know, I watch like a Seinfeld episode, but then, you know, like when you stay up and then you see the sun come up. And that, to me, that's like the sign of like, don't bother. Like, you're not going to sleep. Don't bother. Just stay up. Like, there's no point. So that's the kind of moment I had this morning. So at like 5, I look at my window and I see like the sunrise, and it's like, and the birds start going, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to sleep with any of that. So I'm like, yeah, more coffee. That should do it. And then hopefully in an hour from now, I will be so tired that I'll have my sleep schedule reset. So I don't know. Do you have a similar? Because I don't know what your time zone is. I don't know if you have a sleep schedule like me where it's like really weird. But it seems to be good because you woke up exactly when I started streaming. I wish I had your schedule. so that I would wake up when I start streaming too. That'd be sick. How you doing, Spyros? It's been I think, I'm trying to remember if you're the same guy I'm thinking of. I can't remember now, but I remember there was someone in here talking about this project they were doing. I know that Mindcube had a thing he was doing. I don't remember if you were also one. I can't recall. But I mean, forgive me. I have terrible memory usually. So, but I know you're in here a lot. You're always hanging around, snooping. Well, no, that's not fair. You're way too active. I can't call you a lurker. You're way too active in chat to be a lurker. I'm the lurker. See, I don't type anything in chat. I'm actually lurking, guys. I know it looks like I'm engaging on stream, but I'm actually this is actually all pre-recorded, and I'm actually watching myself right now, lurking in my own stream, watching the pre-recording. That's the truth. Weekend is broken. Wait, what? Weekend is broken, else semi-normal. Righto. Okay, I don't quite know what to make of that. Semi-normal. Well, semi-normal is like, it's better than not normal at all, you know? At least it's semi-normal. You wouldn't want completely not normal. That's when you know it's like, oh no, there's no normality at all in the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, man, all this is on bikini. I'm on Bikini Bottom right now, guys. That's where I live. This is all been a trick. Actually, where is he? Is he in here? I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it might have been Death Diamond. Or, let me check. I gotta check my Twitter. One of you guys leaked a very, very big secret on YouTube. And I'm not happy about that. Let me just try and remember who did it. Yeah, it was this clip that I just stumbled on. HK Titan, that was it. HK Titan, you're in big trouble because you uploaded a clip from my stream where I'm telling people about the secret portal to my room. And I told everyone not to tell everyone, but you uploaded it to YouTube, thus violating my confidence. I told you guys that secretly. It was supposed to be between us, but now it's on YouTube and everyone is gonna know. So I've had to close the portal. I'm sorry. No more magic visitors to the Ray's bedroom. So that's why see, the reason I do that as well is because then you guys would have found out the truth that I actually live in the middle of a Pacific island somewhere on Bikini Bottom. So to protect the truth, that's why I didn't tell anyone about the portal, because they're supposed to think I'm in Australia or in Los Angeles. So, you know, not happy about whoever leaked that info. I think that's the first leak we've had, guys. Leaking a public live stream clip. All right, so let me just try and remember, because I'm a little delirious right now. I'm trying to remember which texture part goes where. So I think, let me just like look at the UVs again. Trying to remember what this was. Okay. Wait. Okay. So, wait a moment. I think it was Alt-A, right? Oh. Alt-A? No. Shift-A? Wait, what was that thing? What was that shortcut that whoever said the thing? I'm trying to scroll. I can't find it now. What was the Alt-R? Okay, thanks, sorry. Alt-R. Oh, hold on, because it's like it has some other pop-up. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's working. All right. Okay, yeah, so I did texture the wrong bit there, my bad. That needs to be, actually, that is quaternary. So yeah, hold on a moment. Quaternary is that file. So that would make, what's after, let me search after, I think it's quin something. After quaternary, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just learning the words as I go. Quinary. That's a pretty epic word. I don't know why I use this naming convention, even though I have to keep Googling it. Why don't I just call it color 1, color 2? I don't know. I just like being fancy, I guess. Primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, quinary, all the way up to 100 or something. Oh, sorry, I had my chat window. There's my chat window. Can't believe they leaked a public live stream clip. I know, it's despicable. I was distraught. I couldn't sleep for days when I saw that. It was absolutely, you know, just not on, mate. As God, my Australian showing now. that's like how we shame people in Australian society. We say like that was deplorable, that was despicable. We just tell them like, not on, mate, not on. Okay, that's how we say it. So anyway, back on topic here. So this all here needs to be the same color, and that is now the right color. And let's save it and just make sure I did that right. So Alt A. Hey, there we go. Okay, looks like I'm missing a few faces. Hold on, that can't be right. Let's save that again. It didn't update all the way. Alt A. It's not updating, guys. That's the texture looks different. Why is the oh, hold on. Oh, maybe I have to. What? Alt-A, please. Why does it... Okay, I don't understand, because it works sometimes, and it doesn't work sometimes. I don't know if I have to have... Like, do I need a specific object selected or something? I'm not sure. Alt-A. 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 It's... See, those colors should be changing, but they're not. Maybe I need to change... Maybe I need to save this again. And then Alt-A. Okay, maybe I'll just reopen the file. Okay, now... I reopened it, now it works. I don't know why Alt-A doesn't work sometimes. Alright, so now the middle part is starting to look... I think the middle part's done. Say for some inner line work. But the base colors are all there. So now we're going to do the barrels. The barrels. So if I like hide all that, this area is all done now. Just these other extremities. So, the barrels. They are basically very similarly colored, thankfully. I think. No, wait, that's not the right color. That's the right color. So I think that goes... I think that goes here. And now if I Alt-A... So yeah, now it's not, like, updating. I don't get it. Alt-A... Alt-A LeMayo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. It is weird. Australians, when they go home and no longer have to do the accent. That's funny. Doing Alt R. Yeah, I'm doing it. Alt R. Wait, did that just... Oh, it updated. Wait, okay, I don't know why it worked just now. Maybe I was pressing the wrong button. I don't know. Maybe I was pressing Alt-E instead. Oh no! Oh no, I'm stupid. I was pressing Alt-A. Why was I pressing Alt-A? Sorry, yeah, no, it wasn't working because I was pressing Alt-A and I don't know why. Why did I think A was R? See, yeah, this is how far gone I am, guys. I'm getting... I need a timeout. I need to stop. But the turret's not done, so I must go on. God, that's embarrassing. So let me just see what's next. What? Oh, so okay, those are the barrels. So that would mean I need another texture. I'll call this tertiary. Another color. And we will pick that nice Bakugan yellow. I think I actually did pick these from what was it, like Dan Kuso, the Bakugan protagonist. I think I actually just like looked at his colors and went like, yeah, that'll be it. That'll be the palette. So, all right, now we got these yellow blocks, and these are going to go here, I think. I actually don't know if it's on this side or the other, but we'll put it here, and then Alt R. Okay, so that. Oh, we're missing a few. Oh, okay, I think I overextended a little. That needs to go here, I think, and I think this needs to go on this part, I think. So Alt R, Alt R. Yeah, that's more like it. Look at that. Because then the ring bits are going to be a different color. Those will be secondary. The secondary color, the dark gray. It's kind of like an aqua, I guess. Got a bit of blue in it because I like blue. So that'll go here. And yeah, I did these bits were UV kind of weirdly. I don't know why I did them this way, but time is of the essence. So I'm not going to have perfectly packed, ultra optimized texel density. No, we're not having any of that. We're just doing like what we can. So Alt R. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Oh, sick. I think it's just like the top and bottom is left now. Yeah, that's it. So that this is going to be the hardest with the texture coming up. And that's the stripe patterns, because I've had to do this a few times now, and I kind of regret doing them because UVing for them is not easy. And I'm having some regrets, but we'll see what we can do. So this, we'll need to fill up this area, more or less. Just to give you a basic idea of where that's going to go. So it's going to be like this area. So like the concept art, it's like and we're going to have some stripes. Now there's a few ways you can stripe it, but I've UV'd them straight, so we're going to have to like make them diagonal as part of the texture. So we shall do that. We will make a... I think it's the secondary, another secondary color object. Well, I guess in this case, we should really put like, oop. Put that there. Put that underneath. And then we make this, yeah. So I'm just gonna try this and see how that looks. Alt R, not Alt A. Okay, so this is how it looks, because the way I've done this as well is that there's lots of overlapping faces. And you might say, but Ray, you can't do overlapping faces because the UV overlap, and if you try and bake lighting, you'll get UV. And well, here's the thing, because UVs work a bit differently. Most objects in Unreal that are imported into Unreal actually use a separate UV set for light mapping, and I'm not going to be light mapping these objects. So, because I used to get a bit hung up about how much I should rely on like overlapping things, because you know sometimes like when you import an object in Unreal, it'll like warning you have overlapping UVs, but it's actually like a very efficient way of texturing. And I've noticed that a lot of like I've tried to examine like AAA assets closely that I like find, and I'll notice that oh yeah they mirror and overlap UVs like a lot to save size. So I have like no reservations about like overlapping. So yeah, like this face literally for like that's top half is literally like it's literally like these two faces just like overlapped, tiled, mirrored over the whole thing, and then at the bottom as well. That's basically it. It's like that simple. So that yeah, the trick is like how are we gonna get that slant going on? So what I'll do in Photoshop is I will add skew modifier. And we'll just like, I don't know, do something like this, where it's like skewing like that. And we'll save it, and we'll see how that comes out. Alt R. There we go. Okay, whoa, all right. Looks like I did not UV this properly. Now it looks, I mean, it looks kind of funky, I guess, but that's not quite what I was going after, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna have to like mirror some of these, because I did these wrong. So like these, we will flip X. There we go. So we need to select every other mirrored one and flip it on the X, because I got it wrong. mirror X. All right, well, this die didn't quite, well, if it mirrors on both sides, who cares, that's fine. No one's gonna get me on that. No one's gonna be like, oh, but Ray, it's supposed to go the same direction around the whole thing. I don't think people are gonna care, so that's fine. Now, so that's like almost all the base colors done. We just need to add one more. This is the fun. This is where the fun begins. Actually, wait, let me check something. Yeah, you know what? I'm just thinking. Nah, I won't bother. I was gonna like fill this, but I don't think it's that important. So I'll make them double-sided if I need to. Just for like the top and bottom halves in case you can see into them, but I don't think it'll be a big problem. So we add the primary color, which I don't know why I'm doing that one last, but here we are. So primary is the Bakugan red. Hell yeah. And then we will add, I've kind of UV, I didn't really bother much with the UVs for this because this is all going to just be flat color. So I just kind of left the default UV and just squished it in the corner to give room for everything else because this isn't going to have any decals or anything. So I'm not too concerned with how much texel density this takes up because like it's just a flat color, you know, it's like an atlas. So if I save that and then Alt-R, hey, look at that. Woo! There we go. Bakugan Brawl, as they say. Thanks, Real. It is pretty funky, if I do say. Excuse me. Now, you might be saying, but Ray, hold on a sec. Compared to the texture, it looks slightly washed out. And I know why that is. It's the same bug we had with the crate earlier. We will fix that in due time. But, more importantly, we need to get rid of the UV island overlays, which should be easy. But also, we need inner line work going on. So this is like the more tedious part, but this is kind of what really sells the look. So, I'm going to make a... excuse me. I have another folder for line art here. And I'm just going to like take this black cube and add in black lines to where I want lines. Now, because these have all been aligned on the XY axis, this should be easy. So for example, I've kind of put a slot here for a line, which I will use. I've indicated here that I want there to be a black line. So if I do this, yeah, it's not going to be like a big part of the model, but watch when I do this. So we're going to Control S, Alt R. Yeah, look, see that one change, because of how I've UV'd it, it added all these thick lines to the contours. Pretty cool, right? Look at that. Look at it. It's pretty chunky lines. So now we're just going to do that to the rest of the model. So let's get to it. Let's get a cooking, as they say. So we need to put these in certain specific areas. I'm just trying to remember where these should go. So I think, yeah, well, I know that some need to go here for sure. Again, we'll have to mess around with the thickness in a bit. But if we do that, Control S, Alt R, we can see we've now got another line somewhere on the model. Where did it? Oh, it's put it at the back here. It's a bit hard to see. Can I rotate this? Yeah, there we go. It's put it here. That's where that new line's gone. That seems pretty alright. We could probably also add a few more. We'll add one here as well. Oh yeah, no, I know why I separated it like this now. So let's, I think I may need the free transform path tool, if that's a thing. Or maybe the skew tool. Or actually, no, well yeah, I'll use the skew tool. Or I'll just rotate. Gotta get it at the right angle. And I might invert this because this will be easier to see now with the black line work. Look at all those Eggman's robots. It kind of does look a bit, eh? I guess anything red and yellow will either look like Bakugan, McDonald's, or one of Eggman's robots, I guess. Looks cute. Thanks. It looks cute with the cell shader, does it? This inanimate turret looks cute. That's a compliment I never thought I'd hear. But thank you. I think that just made my day. I made a cute turret. Isn't that something? That's adorable. I get... Oh, thanks. Yeah. Basically, yeah, guys, see, I don't model this. I just draw this, and then I pull it out of the anime. So that's how this all works. All this modeling, this is all fake. This isn't actually how these get made. I just pull them out from the void, from the ether. That's how this gets made. So yeah, I was just gonna add this line real quick. There we go. That might be a little thick, so I'll move it out of the way a bit. And we'll put this here. And I think this, maybe I do need to move that down a wee bit. Also, let me check something real quick. Did I have my, hold on, did I have this? I had this set a bit. I usually, there we go, that's better. Because when I record, I have it at this level because it peaks less, and I don't want it peaking during the recording. But I set it up to about here for live streaming because I haven't watched a lot of live streams in my time, but the ones I have watched, I always get a bit annoyed that it's just a little too quiet. And I don't know if it's just because I'm hard of hearing or if it's just like mixed poorly. So I like to, for anything that's not recording a video, I like to keep the gain about here. I don't go this high though. That's a bit too much. And that is a little too little, but this I find is about right. Given the distance I am from the microphone. See, a lot of people think that it's just massive, but the truth is it's just, well, you know what? Yeah, it is massive. That's exactly why. And it has, it's so big that you need to set the gain up higher so that it absorbs more sound into the sound, the foam molecules here. That's why. Anyway, now I've got that set properly, we can continue. So, oh yeah, that's right. I can Alt R. So now if we, oh, okay, looks like I put that line in the wrong place. The very wrong place. Where on earth is that? I don't even know. I thought maybe this is UV'd the wrong, like, I feel like something ain't right here, you know? Oh, that's not right. Wait, well, what is this? Oh, why did I think I might have got this back to front, but it's okay, we can work around it. It's actually kind of better that the line isn't... Actually, maybe I did do that deliberately. Yeah, no, I think it was so that I would avoid having to tilt the lines, because if you tilt the lines, it's kind of going against the whole point of texturing it this way. You want all the lines to be perfectly XY straight, so that there's no aliasing, there's no jaggies. It's all, like, very neat. Oh, Alt R, I was pressing. See, yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, clean line work. Oh. All right. Little bit more to go. This is like the most tedious bit. After this, it's very easy. How long? I wonder too. I think probably not as long as normal because I'm on Windows safe mode. You know what I mean? Like I'm on Windows recovery mode in my body. So probably, I think we're about like a little over halfway done with this texture, I'd say, but we'll need to check how it looks in engine and all that. And yeah, so now I'm just trying to think where this should go. Let me check. So that bit's done. Ah, yeah. So we need to put this. Should go in the middle. I think this should go about here. I think. Alt R. What did that do? Did that actually do anything? Oh, it didn't update yet. Hey. Okay, well it adds like a little, I gotta make that line way thicker, it looks like. Oh. That's kind of odd actually. Oh, yeah, I get why. Okay, so we'll need to make that a little thicker. Well, by little, I mean quite a bit. All right, let's see how this looks. I'm just kind of doing the, it's a bit hard. Let me like, can I rotate the lighting? Rotation. There we go. It might be easy to see. Alt R. A. Okay, well that's acting a little weird. Let me turn off the solidify. Oh no, not on that. On this. So yeah, we're kind of adding lines to the insides here. I don't even. Would that be necessary? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, kind of. Because on this angle you can kind of see. But I'm going to have to do something about the solidify modifier. It looks a bit off. Alright. Seems alright. Now we're just going to... I think there's... Yeah, we would add them here as well, I think. There we go. Alt R. So, oh, okay, maybe, okay, those need to be a lot thinner. And, let me check something. Where's this edge? Where is that? Okay, so that's, I added one too many. So I think if we delete that one, there we go. And then I need to, these need to be a lot thinner to line up. I'll redraw these again. Because yeah, these are different densities. Alt R. A, yeah, well, oh, there's still one extra. I think I added the duplicate again by mistake. I think it's, yeah, so I get rid of that one. Alt R. There we go. That's more like it. Now we just gotta do like the bits on the side. Oh, sorry. Oh, hey, Brown. Good to see you. Yes, I'm back in the chair. It is amazing. Ha. I still have a few symptoms lingering about. My cough seems to have calmed down in the last 5 minutes, so that's good. But yeah, lots of big deadlines coming up, lots of panic, and lots of assets being made. So that's what's up. Currently finishing off the Bakugan turret with textures. Well, when I say finish, it's not like finished. It's just like first iteration finished. Because I'm not going to get time for this current thing that we're going for to do animations yet. So I will not, because we just don't have the time. But later in the project, for a different milestone, we will get to that. For the moment, I think having just the model there should be a nice improvement for the schedule. So I don't know, what did I just add there? Ah. Oh wait, I thought it was down there. Hold on a minute. What did I just add? I don't know why I added a line there actually. Well, that must go somewhere. Oh yeah, it does. It does go somewhere. Oh, it's on the inside. Hey, so I do need to put something there. But that does need to be thicker. A little bit. Good luck. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I hope. To catch you up, there is a really weirdly timed very rare opportunity that kind of fell into our lap, and that is that like the Australian government is giving out grants for game development, which is like very not common. So it's first time I've heard of it happening. So I'm like, hell yeah, I want to jump on that. We don't know, like, it's hard to predict whether we'll get chosen, but I reckon my odds are pretty okay because we've already been chosen for a grant before, and I have a lot of stuff I haven't shown yet that I plan on showing them. This is some of it right here, but there's a lot more I also am going to show them. And it may be enough to even fund the rest of this episode, which would be great. So we'll see. There's not really much we can do except try and fingers crossed, I guess. But I figured, like, it was just a bit frustrating with the timing because I found out about it while I was, like, recovering. And I'm like, it just had to be, because the deadline is in 10 days from now. So when I found out about it, I had about 2 weeks to prepare. And I was like, it had to be now. Like, it had to be this month. Like, oh my God. But I know why. It's because, like, financial year, all that stuff. So they have to start, like, scheduling it now to, yeah. So I get why, but it's just, like, you know, bit inconvenient for me, but you know, it's like, you know, when am I going to get another chance like this? So I better buckle up and try doing something. Oh, I just realized I don't actually need that line in this part of the document, but I do need it across here. So I will put this here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but I feel a lot more confident than when the project started. And I have you guys to thank as well, because the last time we were approved for a grant from Epic, I think I made a video about this, but I think I definitely had you guys to thank for helping us get across that line, purely because, like, people had heard of us. Well, you guys had heard of me, so that I think helped. I don't know by how much. They don't really tell you a lot about why they choose projects, and this is a different organization, of course, but I have to believe that played a factor, and I'm very thankful, because it's definitely not easy to document game development. It's just like not only is game development just hard, but documenting it at the same time to the public has had its challenges for me. So I always feel like kind of at odds usually between like development and documenting and like communicating with the public and all. So, but it seems to have paid off. So I feel very grateful. I just hope that this time it'll work too. But anyway, I probably shouldn't say much more because I'm not really like, it's a very like big detailed subject that I'll just shut up and do the work, and then we'll see what happens. And if we get it, I'll be sure to tell you guys, and we'll celebrate and we'll do something cool. If not, well, I guess I'll oh no, I don't want to get a job at like Coles or something, or go back to teaching. That'd slow things down so much. That would really slow things down. Actually, yeah, for those who don't know, when I started this project, I was teaching part-time. That was my main gig. And I was like, as a teacher, I really wanted to do more than just mobile games. So I started this, and well, here we are, like I think it's almost 4 years in May. So in less than a month, it'll be 4 years, which is kind of nuts. Just play Sonic Riders on stream again? Maybe. Well, the thing is, I feel like, I have a theory. I feel like the universe does not want me to be a game streamer, because every time we try playing Sonic Riders, my network is always super jittery, and I end up having to shut down the stream because it's just like unacceptable lag. So I don't know. I feel like there's like this curse of like, you know, don't be a game streamer, Ray. Like you gotta do work, you know, because like if I try and do anything that's not work on stream, my internet just like freezes, and it's like, okay, cool, I didn't want to have fun anyway, you know. So I don't know if that would be cool though, because I really want to. I want to try it because, you know, a lot of people stream video games. I don't really get the whole watching people play games myself, but I think as a performer, if you could call me that, that would be kind of fun to try. It'd be nice as well, because I think I'd be able to be more engaged, because instead of working, I'm like actually not like I'm not fully preoccupied, you know? And I'm pretty used to Sonic Riders. I've played a fair bit of it, and I think I could chat and play it at the same time. It's not like creatively intensive work, so that would be really cool to try. But I feel like the universe will not will it, but we'll see. I'm just trying to figure out like what UV Island this part is. I've been trying to find where this is. Oh, it's there. Okay, I don't know. What was I thinking? Why am I putting it over there? I don't know. So this needs to go here. But yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe I could do, I don't know. Because I remember like thinking, because sometimes I'll have, every so often, like, I have this friend who plays Apex with me, like, semi-regularly-ish. And, yeah, like, we'll sometimes joke about streaming, because technically, I am a streamer, but also not really, because, like, I don't stream, I'm not, like, an Apex streamer or anything. So, yeah, he's always, like, you know, giving me jokes and stuff about, like, streamer stuff. And it's funny. But I don't know, I'm not very good at FPS games. So I don't think I would want to display that to the world. Well, I'm not good at a lot of games. I'm slow. I'm a weird kind of game. It's a bit hard for me to enjoy games anymore, like the way I used to. Hold on a minute. I feel like there should be a line here, right? Oh, that's there. Wait, so what's this? Oh. Okay, I think I know. I think I know what I need to do. Okay, okay, this UV map is a little, I rotated some of these wrong. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I don't know, it's probably nothing too important. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, the way I play games now is, I'm kind of more of a completion, I don't know, I have this addiction, not to gaming, and like, well, obviously not, I don't have time to be addicted to gaming, sadly, but like, it's more of, generally, I find that I'm very addicting to completing things. So sometimes that manifests very good, because it manifests in me getting addicted to finishing work that I need to do. Other times though, it makes like, I don't know, because people do this with shows, I don't know if people do this with games, but I remember I had a friend once who was like, Ray, you need to finish more games, because like they kept asking me like, oh, have you played this? Did you do the story for this? And I usually have not. So like, Ray, we gotta get you playing more games. This week you're gonna play Tomb Raider or Rise of the Tomb Raider or something. But the thing is, I can't just do that. If I'm playing a game, I need to commit to it 100%. I need to 100% every trophy. I need to 100% every skill point. I need to do it all. I need to complete the game on like the closest to hardest difficulty that I'm capable. I need to finish the story. I need to basically 100% it. I don't know why, I have like a compulsion to do that with any game I pick up. And I feel bad if I don't. It's like taking a bite out of a sandwich and like not finishing it. That's kind of how it feels to me. So I have like this icky thing of like, I need to finish it. So I usually, for that reason, will deliberately not play new games and just play existing stuff that I've finished before, or stuff that I'm close to finishing already from like 5 years ago. Just because, I don't know why it is. Like, my brother's kind of the same, except he has a lot more time than I do, so he actually gets to live out the ability to platinum games, and he has like a whole thing on his PlayStation trophy of all these platinums, and I'm a little jealous. But yeah, like, I don't know if anyone else is like that. I'm like that. I hate that I'm like that, but I am, and I don't know why, but that's how it be. Aren't those types of games like resource? Not really. I don't really do resource. I think I deliberately do not. Well, it's not. So, no, let me rephrase that. I don't tend to play survival games or anything with resource management, because to me, I already have to do enough resource management in real life. Okay, I don't want to go to a fantasy world and do more resource management. So I'm like, I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy those games. It's just too much. I don't want to think Like, when I play a game, I'm going precisely because I don't want to think about anything. I want to not think for once. So I remember I had, like, a friend of mine try to get me into Minecraft one time, and it drops you in the world, and it's like, oh, you need to build a tent or you're gonna die. And I'm just like, well, how do I know that I'm gonna die, and how do I build a tent? And it's just, it's like work. It's like more chores, and it's like, I'm gonna go play Sonic Riders now. Because I don't know, I'm just not into it. It's just not my thing, really. But yeah, like I'm into like mindless fun, but not too mindless, because that is also kind of dangerous. Sometimes I get a bit too into the mindlessness of it. But I do appreciate immersion, but not immersion that stresses you out. More like immersion that really grabs your attention. Like, the last story game I completed was about a year ago, I think. It was Last of Us. A friend lent it to me, and I still haven't given it back to him. I've had the game for 2 years now, and he gave it to me before the pandemic, and I haven't seen him since. So if he's watching this, probably isn't, but if he is, I will get that. I've now finished it, and I'll give that back to you as soon as I can. But that game, now that was like, that held my attention. Like, I actually was able to play through it the first time without actually obsessing over the collectibles, which was, I don't know what it is, because the thing is, normally I do that, but for certain games, if they're that good, I will not feel that compulsion to 100% it. I will just enjoy it for what it is, which is really rare, and I love that magic. That's how I used to feel as a kid, but I don't know, something must have changed when I got older. But I could only go back there for certain specific titles, and it's kind of weirdly unpredictable. I don't quite understand it fully, but it does. I mean, it frustrates me a bit, you know, because it's like I can't really find. I have to really dig for enjoyment, but for the games that do have it, it's like, whoa, it's a pretty good game. You got, you know. But yeah, Last of Us was really. It was mostly, yeah, like gameplay. I wasn't really sure about it at first. It was very different because I hadn't played much Naughty Dog games. But like the story, I thought that carried it pretty well. And then it got me kind of into the gameplay as I went along. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it. That was the last time I really got taken off my feet to another place. I think I might have just deleted something as well by accident there. Sorry, sorry, just got a bit of a tangent. Okay, that's a duplicate. I've got a few duplicates here. I'm just trying to sort out. Because, yeah, okay, here we go. Because I think I need to put a... Yeah, I think that needs to go here. Oh, Alt-R, there we go. Okay, that's good. I could make that thicker, but I'm not going to bother because that's on the interior. I've spent too long in that area. So that's the interior done. We just need to do the exterior now, which I'm trying to remember where that is. Oh, I think I do know where it is, actually. It's up in this top corner, I think. So I don't know exactly where these will go, but we'll just put one here for now. I feel like these are going to be in the wrong spot, but we're just going to try it. Alt-R, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I guess they could go there. But I kind of want them to look smooth, so maybe not. Yeah, so these need to go the other way. Rotate the other way like this. But yeah, I think on that topic... Oh, hold on. Yeah, well, yeah, it is a bit of a chore, isn't it? It is, and that's kind of frustrates me because I feel like I have to. Like, if I pick up a game, I have to finish it. Just, I don't know why, I just have to. Like, I can't explain to you why. It's a compulsion. But it's also very tedious, and I get really demotivated and end up like not finishing games as a result. So I don't know. It's a weird quirk. Very weird. But I was gonna say, oh, let me just find that. I got a duplicate line. Sorry, because these are all named the same things. It's just a bit hard to sort through. All right, Let's Alt R. There we go. That's where I wanted the lines, but I will need to make them a little thicker from the looks of it. So I'll do that. Oh, thanks for the hydrate. When you start a game, you have to drop it within 2 weeks. What do you mean? Explain that rule to me. So do you mean like when you pick up a new game, do you like force yourself to stop playing it after 2 weeks, or do you have to finish it in under 2 weeks? What's the rule? This is an interesting rule. You give up on it. So why do you have to? That's an interesting way you've worded it there. You said that you have to drop it within 2 weeks. Is there a reason you've imposed that rule? That sounds like a very specific rule, but it also sounds like it kind of sounds like a restraint almost. It's almost like gaming is so powerful that I can only, for my own sake, I can only limit myself to 2 weeks or something. Because you've done it too many times. All right. Oh, Elden Ring. Everyone kept telling me to try that out, and I did. And I feel very bad because it's so big. Like, there's so much, but I'm never going to have the time to appreciate it. RPG games specifically are like my worst my worst enemy. Because when I was 14, 15, high school, you know, plenty of free time, and I spent a lot of that free time on Skyrim. And Skyrim is still to this day one of my favorite games. It was like my first RPG that I'd played. And I know it's a Western RPG. I know it's like not RPG in the sense that like WoW is an RPG, but you know, first role-playing game, first fantasy game, really memorable. I still have the same character. I've had the same character for the last 10, as of this month, 10 years. I've had the same Argonian all-rounder, because you can be an all-rounder in Skyrim. So I basically have made it my quest to like level up to 100 in everything. So I'm currently leveling up magic. But the thing is about Skyrim is that I played it at a very fortunate time in my life where I could really suspend my disbelief and allow myself to be immersed in the world it offered. Because I had basically no other responsibilities, I had abundant time, and I could just escape to Skyrim and to Tamriel. But as I get older, it's like, it's a hard game to play in chunks, because the games that work for me are the ones where I can sit down for like half an hour and just like play it. But Skyrim, you can't really do that, because if you do, you won't get far in 30 minutes, and the next time you come around to the game, you'll completely forget what you were doing. So I have like a note of like all this stuff that I was up to remind myself like what I was supposed to do, because the quest log isn't as specific as I would like. And even so, it makes it hard, because you don't want to go back into it, because it's like, oh, now I have to figure out what I was doing, and it's like more work. And it's like, or I could play Sonic Riders and not worry about that. So it's like, it's and the thing is, like, I will bend that way for Skyrim. I will offer Skyrim leniency. The thing is, though, is that is my game. Like, that is my fantasy game slotted in. Like, I have a limited amount of slots. I have one slot for an RPG game, and that has been Skyrim for the last decade. So when you get something like Elden Ring, it's like, I will never be able to appreciate this game the way other people will, because other people will be able to invest way more into it than me. And I feel like that kind of game with that amount of content is designed for you to get lost in. And it's like, I feel like for me, I would need to be really disengaged in my day-to-day stuff to want that, you know? Like, I'm a bit too focused on not fantasy sort of thing. Like, I'm just got too much going on, like, in real life that takes up RAM, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, because I want to be able to explore like the world of Elden Ring and appreciate it, because it's probably amazing. But it's just, I'm always gonna only be able to play it in like little hour-long sessions, which I don't think does it justice. I think that's the kind of game you want to sit down with for a whole week and just play it nonstop. I feel like that's the way that I would, if I could, that's the way I would like play it to really fully experience what it is. But it's just, you know, it's a luxury I don't have. So I envy people that can do that, because in a way, because it's like you really get to appreciate, because people put time and effort into that game, and I kind of feel good that there are people out there that get fully into it and no life the game. Because to me, it's like the fact that you did that, like imagine how the developers would feel. They probably like, that's probably like a good feeling to think that a game that you made is getting no life by someone right now. Like that's like the highest honor. So I kind of, there's this beauty to it, but it's something I cannot ever obtain. I guess as a developer, it puts me in a weird spot too, because it's like I guide what's the phrase? I guide others to a treasure I cannot possess. I guess it's sort of like that. I suppose. I don't know. This all sounds very depressing. I'm sorry, but you know, I guess when this becomes like work, it changes how you look and how you experience games. And in a way, I like it, but it's also, you know, it comes at a cost as well. It means I can never experience Skyrim again like the way I did when I was 14. But it means that I see games in a different way that I didn't when I was 14. I can see, you know, much different things, much more in some areas, much less in others. So it's, you know, it's one big trade-off, I guess. Alt R, that's the key. So I'm just trying to fix those outlines. Oh yeah, and then there's what's this set of polygons? Ah, it's that. Okay. So that would mean I need to just gotta find where those lines are. Sorry. Alt R. Wait, did that save? Oh, it didn't save. I should save that first. There we go. Okay, now we got, it needs to be thicker, I think. Yeah, it's very thin compared to everything else. Oh, sorry, I haven't been checking chat. Haven't dev in a while in a team. You need to wait on others. But I'm looking forward to learn more about ZBrush. Interesting. I did try ZBrush once. It's very like different to what I'm used to. It's a bit of a learning curve, I think. I don't know if it's still that, 'cause I don't know, it's probably been updated since I last used it. But I do remember it, like, you kind of have to think very differently about modeling, which you do get some cool, like if you master it, it's like you can get some epic results. Like I saw some people make some cool stuff with it. But yeah, it does, you know, actually, yeah, because what I did see, I saw someone use like a graphics tablet, which I maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe it's not that special, but to me, it was pretty cool. I was like, damn, he's using a Wacom to sculpt. That's pretty boss. So I always felt very impressed by that. I guess, actually, now that you mention it, I did do a bit of sculpting for Gabby, actually, but it wasn't it was like Blender sculpting. But it was no graphic. Actually, no, I did use a graphics tablet. Yeah, sorry. I did do that. It was just so long ago. I can't remember. But I remember doing that for a little bit. But ultimately, I simplified the mesh later, so you don't really see a lot of the details as well. But it was a pretty cool experience. I think, yeah, for Blender, it was easier because you're familiar with the controls and all that. But for ZBrush, it's like a very different beast. But it's also, I would imagine it's more designed for sculpting, so maybe there's some advantages there. All right, I think we're almost done with the texture. I just need to like focus on these little barrel ends here. And that should be it, I think. Oh, and then the middle bit here as well. And a few more things. We're still gonna do a bit more line work. I was trying to think where those lines should go. Now, once we do get all the line, I know it looks kind of weird, but once we get all the line work in, we're going to do something interesting with it. I think I do, yeah, so I think there does need to be a line here, I think. I think that's for the side bit here, I'm assuming. Yeah, there we go. Got that one right. Oh, that's very thick lines there. We'll see how that works. Oh, okay. Looks like we bit of a bamboozle there. Got one too many lines. Ah. We don't need that. Hey, there we go. Except the ones on the sides are very, very big. So we'll shrink those. And Control Alt R, that's right. Okay, yeah, this looks better. But now we just gotta do the bit here. Hey, Ace Breaker. How you doing? First time chatter too. Welcome. Got some new guys. Oh, thanks, Brown. Yeah, sorry, I slowed down a bit for the line work stuff, but this is like the tedious part. Once this stuff's done, we export the textures out, and then you can kind of see it in action, and we can take it into the engine. It's going to look epic. But yeah, it's just getting like the lines on the inside bit. This is like my least favorite part. It's kind of why I wanted some company, because I could do this alone, but I'd be so bored out of my mind. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to stream this so that you guys can be bored with me, of course, because that's like the best way to experience boredom is to share it. Am I right? Am I right, Marines? Oh, really? Well, thank you for checking the series, my guy. Well, yeah, I have had to take a bit of a break from Twitch due to illness, but I'm kind of back now. Seems like my cough settled down a bit. That's good. I don't know why. See, that's the thing I don't get. It comes in and out, and I don't understand how to control it. You know? It's frustrating. But hey, it's getting better. But yeah, it's like, it's interesting though. Sometimes I do wonder, what if I like stopped doing devlogs and just like made the devlogs just the live streams? Because it'd be way quicker. I wouldn't have to edit, but it's also like, I think I have to imagine that one thing people like about the devlogs is like the fact that it's edited in a way that makes it a bit easier to follow than watching some crazy guy ramble at his computer for hours at nauseum. But yeah, I'm actually a little surprised. I'm guessing a lot of you have probably seen my last video, and I checked on it the other day and I was a little alarmed with how many people have watched it. And it's like to that point where it's people outside the normal sphere of influence. So it's a lot of people that like haven't seen the project before. So one challenge as well that I haven't quite figured out how to mitigate is how to explain what I'm doing to new people, because this has been like years in the making, and it's hard for me to kind of succinctly summarize why I make certain choices in what context when there's like years of years of history. So I don't know, I haven't quite figured that part out yet. So I'm going to be subject to a lot more comments asking questions. Like I'm a little worried because it seems to me, I glanced at the comments like the other day, and it looks to me like they're like a good set of people that think that I'm developing an infinite runner or a mobile game, and I don't know what I did that gave that impression, because I don't think it looks anything like a mobile. I mean, I don't play mobile games. Maybe mobile games have gotten really good recently. I don't know. But I'm not making an infinite runner, so stop suggesting procedural generation, because it doesn't mean what people think it means. But yeah, like this is usually I don't get that, but I think it's like when the video starts reaching people who have been following it, I start to get stuff like that, and I don't really know what to say, because it's like to understand this, you're gonna have to go watch part 1, 2, 3 all the way up to part 30, and then you'll realize that it's not an infinite run. So I don't know, but seriously though, I don't know what gives that impression. Does it look like an infinite runner? I don't think it does, but it seems that a good few people do, and I don't understand why. Been learning Blender. Yeah, Blender, I had a bit of trouble learning it at first. It was mainly because back then, I don't know what, I'm assuming you're learning the new version, because the old version had very different controls, where the first issue I had was that right click or left click didn't left click. And it's like, oh, this is going to take a bit of getting used to. So that was like the first hurdle for me, but it seems like 2.8 is much more user-friendly, which is fantastic. Yeah, 2.8, that was a big revolution in the Blender world. Oh wait, sorry, that line shouldn't go. I put that line in the wrong spot. GMTK says, making a game about magnets. Well, like, didn't he? Because he like started really recently, didn't he? So I guess for him it's a bit easier because he's only made like, what, 2-3 videos? With me, though, it's like, when you have 33, it's a bit hard to, like, summarize all 33 of that into a sentence. Because I usually open with, you know, I'm making a parkour game with a cat girl in it. But you can interpret that a lot of ways, as it turns out. Because to me, that means something. But to some of the new people watching my video, that means temple run. And I don't understand exactly where that comes into it. Because I got an alarming... The reason I mentioned this is just because I'm kind of confused by the alarming amount of suggestions I got about just generate all of your levels and you will solve your level design problems. But, I mean, for those who've watched the video, you'll understand why that's not really going to work. But yeah, I can only assume that, like, yes, that would work for Temple Run. So that's why I'm, like, thinking, do people think I'm making Temple Run? Because that's the only instance I can imagine that working. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna... I was thinking, should I, like, clarify that? Or I'm just not gonna bother. Like, people who have been following it, they know what I'm doing. But yeah, but to be clear, it is not a mobile game. I have no plans to bring it to mobile, and I'm not just gonna hit generate and make all my levels, because like, there's a reason why level design exists. There's reasons why people pay level designers to design levels. It's because it's important. You gotta, you know, it's like if you randomly generate a character, doesn't mean you're gonna get a good character, if you know what I mean. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the stuff I've been getting. And it's, I don't know, like, I don't get it, because it's like, do people actually think it's just a button? Because it isn't. Like, it's really not, like, that's not really what procedural generation means. It's not like No Man's Sky, you know? I'm not making No Man's Sky over here. I'm not going to have, like, planets that just have terrain. And, like, I know that there's plugins like Gaia and stuff for Unity that make it look easy, but it's like, there's a degree of artistry and artist intent that you lose with generation. And I think for this kind of game, it's just not like the appropriate solution. Because it's like the game relies a lot on how the environment serves Gabby. And I don't think you can do a good job of that if you randomly put like a random level. Well, firstly, I need to write a level generator, and I don't know how to do that. People seem to think I'm like a programmer, but I'm really not. Like, I'm not that experienced. So I wouldn't even know where to begin. And also, I wouldn't get good results. Even if I were to write a generator, the likelihood that I would have good levels is very low. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's just a suggestion I've been very confused by. But I don't know. It's not really worth looking into, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, yes, it has a place, but I'm not sure what makes people think it has a place in Project Feline. Like, that's the thing that I'm kind of confused by. Because I'm not sure in that video what gave the impression that generation would service what I'm building. You know? Like, I guess it probably because I guess unless you've seen the momentum code video, it might be a bit harder, I think. Because I think, I don't know, I'm going to have to think of how to do it. Because one thing I think I need to mention more is how important Gabby's movement is and how it's used and what it's used for. I think that maybe I didn't deliver on enough. Because I just say it's a movement-based game. But when I think movement-based game, I think of like My Game or Sonic or Titanfall. But I guess technically an Infinite Runner is also a movement-based game, like technically, depending on what you define as movement-based. So maybe that's where I went wrong. Maybe I misled everyone by wording it that way. I don't know. I can only imagine that's what it is. Now let me just check here. I think that line work should be fine. Oh yeah, there's bit of extra. Hold on, this is still a bit more I need to do on the line work. But yeah, that's why, usually I tend not to just check comments because it's usually just stuff like that that doesn't make sense. But, you know, last week I had nothing else to do. I was in bed. So I'm like, what are people saying? And I'm like, oh no, people think I'm making Temple Run now. Oh. So I don't know, it was funny, I guess. But I guess, yeah, it is something interesting though, because one thing I do think about sometimes is, I don't know, like, because I never expected that many people to watch any of this, so it's, I don't know, it's like, it's weird sometimes, because it's like, I'm very introverted, so I tend to feel comfortable around smaller groups. So usually I'm used to presenting to a very small group of people, but because this has been like, I don't know, reaching more than just a few people, it's like, added lots of different pressures and responsibilities to it. I think I've talked about that kind of stuff before, I think, in one of my other videos, but it's something I'd like to revisit that topic again someday, because I think, just to like pitch the idea out of something I've noticed, I noticed that in art, and I know this is like a bit abstract, but I would count game development as art. For me in particular, it's been a very artistic process. I've made a lot of like self-discoveries while doing this game about the limits of my ability and the, like, even my own artistic desires, like learning about why I want to make this game and what it means. Like, there's been a lot of like inner work done there about like what this is to me. And I think when you have a project like that you're doing, when you're observed, it kind of changes. Like, it, you know, like the Heisenberg principle, when you observe a subatomic, I think it's subatomic particle, I don't remember exactly, but if you observe a subatomic particle, its behavior changes by the fact that you're observing it. So it's hard to actually, I think that's roughly it. I'm not a scientist, that's my dad's job, but my understanding of it is something like that. And I feel like creating online for an audience is a very similar experience, or it has been for me at least, where it's like being observed changes how things unfold. It changes how you operate, and it changes you. And it's, I don't know, it's fascinating. I haven't seen it talked about a lot, but I think it has like lots of implications on creativity in particular, which I find just interesting, because I think this game would have gone very differently if I hadn't made videos. Not to say that it would have gone better or worse, it just differently. And it's just curious, like, how that all works. Because you think about different things, you behave differently, like you have different worries, different responsibilities, like all that stuff. It's all just, I don't know, I always just find it interesting to discuss just in my own head. But I figured maybe I should put that on a video or something someday. Maybe other people can relate to that. I don't know. I guess it's sort of like, because another more personal example that might be a bit more, that might make more sense, because I have another few little projects that I work on just on the side, and these I'm not really ready to show yet. Like, I really want to show people to get feedback, but I'm not ready for like to show it to just the public. I want to like really vet it first. But that whole thing as well is different, because usually when I was a kid creating stuff, I would not really create it for anyone. I would just make it for me and never show it. But because I'm a bit older now, I want to be able to put stuff out, and it kind of changes how I think about, because now I'm making stuff considering the person on the other side, which kind of changes how you approach doing anything. which, yeah, because you start thinking about things like, oh, like if you're if you're writing a book, you start thinking about things like, is this paragraph interesting for the reader, and you know, stuff like that. Whereas if you're writing for yourself, you normally wouldn't think about that sort of thing. So I don't know, it's just interesting. If you become, what's this? If you become super knowledgeable in a subject, it eventually becomes art. I guess so. That's kind of a sweet way of looking at it. An overview video? Yeah, that maybe something like that. I try to introduce Feline as a. Well, actually, yeah, no. In that video, I interchangeably used the word movement-based and momentum-based, so that could have been maybe what caused some confusion. Sorry, I'm just like trying to find where I was on the documents. Ah, here we go. But yeah, I don't know. All of that stuff, I know it's like really has nothing to do with game development, but it's all stuff I just think about in the background. That I think applies to, I mean, oddly enough, I think it applies to game development, but also other things. Because I do other things that's not game development. Like I'll, you know, do music and writing and stuff. And I tend to find that those same principles will come into play. Because ultimately, I mean, it's all like kind of self-expression at the end of the day. But taking on different forms, like a game or a book or something like that. And there's like, I think there's like rules and principles about that journey that I can't articulate them yet, but there are things, there's things that like influence that journey. And when I say journey, I don't mean like the journey of creating the thing, but the journey from the perspective of the guy creating the thing. Because that's like its own journey in itself in a way, if that makes any sense. Because there's the Project Feline journey that you guys see, and then there's the journey that I live, and it's like, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying anymore, but you get the idea. It's like, it's, I don't know, but it's something that's important to me, and it's like interesting. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit frustrated about, yeah, because, oh wait, no, I didn't update the, there we go. Oh, there's the lines. Because I was like, why are these lines not showing on the thing? And I kept forgetting to hit the update button. There we go. Cool. So what? Let me just delete what I added just there, because that's not supposed to be there. All right. How many more of these do I have left? I think I've only got a few more. And I'll stop rambling as well, because I need to get this done in the next 30 minutes. Because I wanna like, because I remember saying I wanted to get this done today, and technically for me in my time zone there is 32 minutes left of today. That's right, quick maths. I calculated that on the spot. So I think all the line work here is there. It's just, yeah, for that top bit, so let's do that. Let's beat this out right now. So yeah, this next bit, super easy, because I'm just gonna be very lazy about it. Yeah, so for this, I'm gonna make a copy, and I'm going to change the fill to just outline fill, and I'll do the trick. And we may need to add 1 or 2 more lines, but that's the general gist. So it doesn't look like anything yet. Just give me a moment. Yeah, there we go. And then I move this to that layer, and there you go. You see the black outline there now? There we go. That's the way. So I'll need to add 2 more on the tops and bottoms, and I think that shall be all the line work. And then we can export this out in the weirdly specific way it needs to be exported for this shader to work. And then we can put it in the editor, and it'll be awesome. And I think we can do that in the next 30 minutes, no problem. So let's jump into it. Oh, hey, another first time chat. Jam Boink. That's a cool name. Boink. Watched loads of my YouTube videos and finally managed to catch the stream. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Looks like we got a few people from the devlogs in today finding the stream for the first time. May I ask, how did you, also, I think it was Ace Breaker as well. You're also new here. How did you guys find the stream? Curiously. I want to know how. You will tell me that. You will tell me right now how you found it. Or else there will be dire consequences. No, I'm just... But I want to know how you found it. I'm curious. was it through Twitter? Because if so, then I can understand. But if not, I'm curious. Because apparently, I didn't know, I keep forgetting about this, but apparently Twitch has like a discovery thing where it like recommends you streams. I've never used it because I don't really watch Twitch a lot, but I think some people do find me through there, and I don't really understand how, but it is cool. Found on YouTube. Wait, so you found my stream through YouTube? Or you found me through YouTube? I'm not sure exactly. All right, cool. So I'm guessing, did you find the stream through me mentioning the stream in the video, is what I'm wondering. I'm assuming so, if you're from the videos. Because I think I put a link to the stream there, but I don't know if anyone actually clicks on it, and then I mentioned the stream at the very end. And sometimes I'll even forget, so I always like wonder, like, how is there even people here? You know? Oh, that's how you learned? Cool. Oh, another first-time chatter. Oh, we got you've been lurking. I think Kolf, I know you're a first-time chatter, but I get the feeling you've been lurking around for me to ask this exact question. I was originally watching a different game dev and got recommended. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. G Nisro looked me up. Dude, now that's pretty epic. You actually looked me up manually. That's like old-fashioned. People don't do that anymore. Not when we have algorithms. The way of the future. Alright, let me, wait, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do. Alt-R. Okay, those outlines, yeah, so I've tried to add outlines on the top bit, but these are very thin compared to the rest, so I might thicken these up a little bit. Because this is a much denser UV texel than the others. Yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit, my voice is a bit coarse, by the way. I'm still recovering. So if I'm a bit less as high energy as in my videos, that's probably why. For you guys coming from the devlogs. Will the skating animation come back? Okay, I know. Everyone keeps asking about it. I've thought about it. It may come back. But if it does, I'm redoing it because I wasn't happy with how I did it the first time. Here's the thing though, right? Because everyone, when I did that video, everyone kept saying, don't do that animation style. It looks terrible. The animations look stiff. You suck, basically. And I was like, no, because it's underdeveloped. Yes, it is pre-alpha. It's not finished. You'll see in time. Now I've had a bit more time to work on them, and now people are starting to compliment me on them, and that's pretty cool. But I still get asked, is the skating animation coming back? And it's funny because I always thought that the skating animation was the worst one out of the rest, because to me it looked really stiff because of how I posed it. Granted, it was the first time I had ever animated a skate animation, so that's to be expected, I guess. But now that I've done it once, I want to have another crack at it, but I can't guarantee that right now, just because there's so much going on. Like, we may not get time. But it is something I would like to look into. Because, yeah, it is a cool aesthetic. It was a cool idea, but I kind of chickened out on it. But I'm not sure if maybe you would agree with this, but I think what I seem to notice is that a lot of people felt that made the game more unique. So I don't know, is that one of the factors, or is it a different reason entirely? I'm not sure, but I think that's the vibe I got from what people were saying at the time. And I remember changing it to running because I wanted her to look like she was moving faster. But now that the new movement system is in place, I think skating actually may be more appropriate because we actually have like skate physics now. Well, yeah, it's weird because we have skate physics, but the animation is like running. So maybe I can see why that would be better. Do I have a regular streaming schedule? Yes, normally. Except recently it's been a bit out of sorts because I contracted COVID a week or two ago. So I had to stop for a little bit. I usually stream Saturdays, 12 p.m. UTC. So you can figure out what time zone it is for you. I think it's like 6 Pacific time, because everyone is in Pacific time, it seems. But it's 12 UTC normally. Now, again, that did change recently just because COVID, and also because we're at this stage right now where development is like just like a train without any breaks on. So in addition, I'm trying to also upkeep the normal schedule, but for the next couple of weeks, it's probably going to be very erratic. I'm probably just going to be streaming whenever there's a bit of interesting work that I'm doing, which is like, I'm not really going to care about your schedules at that point. I'm sorry, because it's like, I'm like, right now it's off schedule, but I was like, hey, I'm doing this work, let's stream it. And that's kind of how I roll. But usually when I'm not in a crunch phase, I do like to keep it like Saturdays 12 UTC. But yeah, follow my Twitter or the Discord server for a more like, you'll get notified through there if you want to catch them and schedule your time around them. But yeah, do keep in mind it's just going to be a little bit erratic for the next couple weeks until we get this build ready for the submission. So yeah, I've just been kind of rushing around, and yeah, that's just kind of how it is. I do wish it was more stable. I believe me, if I could stream like at the same time every day and get the same amount of work done each day, that would be great. But that's just kind of not. It's hard. It's not really how I work usually. It's usually like in these creative sprints, and they just kind of happen, and I can't control them. So yeah, that's kind of a bit unfortunate scheduling wise. But Saturdays 12 UTC is my usual. Oh, cool. Fits into your midday break. That is pretty poggers, as they say. God, I haven't said that in a while. I don't know, I kind of missed that word. See, that's how long I've been away. That's how long I've been away from Twitch. I've like missed saying the word poggers. Anyway, sorry, I got a bit, I was making these, oh yeah, I needed to make this outline thicker. That's what I was doing. Where is that object? Here we go. So I need to make this maybe 30. Save. Alt R. Yeah, that's better. Look at those thick lines. All right, I think texturing is done. I think. Oh, actually, no, we did miss a few. Should I? Because I'm thinking like on these bits. I don't know if I should bother. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that later. That's not important. I think we can get away because people are gonna look at this. This is like, hold on. This is like the distance away people are gonna look. I don't think they're gonna care if there's like not an outline on this. What do you guys think? Well, now I've just pointed it out, so all of you are gonna notice now. God damn. But I don't know. Should I bother doing little lines on these bits, or should I just export this? Will I transfer to UE5? Probably not, because it's been my experience that switching engines mid-development is a great way to break things. So I would like to avoid that. And there's nothing in UE5 I am in urgent need of at the moment. So as long as that is the case, I'm sticking with 4, because if it works, then don't fix. No, what's the phrase? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what I'm going to do. But if there is a particular feature that I think will immensely help Project Feline, and if it's worth the weeks it could take to account for problems that might arise for upgrading, then sure, I'll do it. But at the moment, no such circumstances have yet arisen. Yeah, if it ain't fixed, don't work it. You know what I'm saying? Forget about it. Well, yeah, I'm using... Well, even upgrading to... I was on 4.25, and upgrading to 4.27 broke stuff. Like, the camera was all zoomed in and stuff, and then one time, between 4.23 and 4.25, the wall run stopped working. So as you can see, based on my experience, I'm very comfortable with not upgrading. Because, you know, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it, you know? Bakugan turret, yeah. Oh, Commander, you're here. Good to see you. So yeah, I think, you know what? I think I could add those lines in quickly. It's bothering me now because I keep looking at it. So I think those will just go here. I think I've actually already got UV shells mapped out perfectly for this. So I'm just going to add those real quick because it's bothering me. Oh, what is that? No, I don't want it doing that way. But yeah, man, Bakugan, that's the way. You know... what? Okay, because like I think Bakugan is kind of what got me into this art style. Funny enough, because like I mentioned, I'm not really people. I often get I always get this in my comments, like, "Oh, Ray, big weeb," and it's like I wish that was true, but I'm really not that it's all a facade, okay? I'm really not that cultured in anime. I really don't know much about it, which is weird. I know I'm like right in the demographic. I should be prime. I should be a master at this stuff. But I just like the art style. I just think it's a cool art style. I don't really know any shows that I would bother watching. Besides, like, I've watched the movies. I've watched Shinkai. I've watched Ghibli. But apart from that, I'm not really. I don't know. But Bakugan, I think, is what set me on the path of obsessing over the art style, because I remember it came out and I was like starting to draw the characters from it, and then I was like, wow, this art style is pretty cool, and then I kind of just became my art style. So yeah, pretty cool. That's the Raymond Cripps anime origin backstory. You're welcome. There we go. Oh, I put those UVs on the complete wrong shell. Okay. So, hold on, let me check something. Why can't I select? Why can't I? There we go. I'm gonna click on this. So what is this? What is that? Let me check where that UV shell is. Oh, that's here. So that means I need to. Wait. So where is? Wait a sec. Where are these? Oh, oops, I didn't want to do that. Where is that? Where is this face? Where is this face located on my UV map? I can't find... Where is this face? On the UVs? Where is it? Oh no, that's not... Oh, it's this face. Ah... So it's this, because it's a big face. Okay, so what I need to do... Okay. So this I kind of did wrong. So I'll fix that now, I think. You know what, I'll leave it. That's not too important. I can just fix it here in Photoshop. So, I think... Wait, let me double check what direction that UV shell went in. So it's the... Okay, it's the ends I want to color. I think these should be about half. A bit more. And then I can delete tops and the bottom ones. Okay, I'm gonna delete that, and I delete that. Oh, sorry, I didn't check chat. Hey, another first-time chatter. What do you know? New to your Twitch streams, but haven't watched your entire devlog series, and as a software engineer, enjoyed your perspective on game dev. I bought a shirt and sticker. Oh, thank you. And I found your Twitch via joining your Discord for your YouTube content channel. Well, thank you for the very thorough reply, and thank you for checking out the shirt and sticker, man. I appreciate that so much. These for anyone else who wants them, by the way, because they're gonna discontinue in 4 days for the foreseeable future. So if you do like this design and want it, check out projectfeline.com/shop and be a cool guy like Queen Kazuma over here who did so. Legend. Yeah, so that's because we're gonna do some more designs, and this will be the last time we run this one. So if you are interested, check them out. And if you're not interested, well, then you don't check them out. It's, you know, so I'm not forcing you. If you have features you need, you're fine with the... Oh yeah, it's about Unreal, yeah. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna upgrade to UE5 unless there is some really compelling good reason that like makes it a necessity, which has not happened yet. Because UE4 is like, I feel like it's gonna be, I don't know, I feel like, I really hope a UE4 doesn't like get like this bad reputation purely for the fact that it's not UE5. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Like you go like, oh yeah, what are you making your game? And it's like, oh, UE4, and then everyone just like, you know, gawks at you like, ew, he's using UE4. Ooh. Like that'd be funny, wouldn't it? It just becomes like instant cringe. It's like, oh man, that is so 2021, UE4, bruh. Who uses UE4? It's all about UE5. I don't know, that'd be a funny hypothetical, wouldn't it? Okay, so it looks like I've also UV'd this wrong real quick. Okay, so these two need to be rotated this way. But that'd be hilarious. It's like the entire UE4 just gets like discarded and just treated horribly just because it's not the new one, even though it's like a good engine. Like imagine like buying a game from like 2014 and going, ew, this is UE4. Why wasn't it in the latest one? It is kind of amazing though how long. Okay, those outlines need to be way thicker. But it is kind of impressive because I think they did do, I think this was because it's out now, right? I guess this is why people are asking me about it. I haven't been following it though personally, but I remember when the alpha came out, and at the time I was definitely not going to switch because it was in, you know, it was in a preview, and it's like you don't use preview software to ship a game, so I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not switching. But now that it's out, yeah, I'm probably just going to stick with what works. But I think, yeah, they posted a thing on their Instagram, I think, about like the history of Unreal, and it is pretty cool actually. When I looked at it, I was like, I keep forgetting just like how old Unreal is. It's been around for a bit, you know, probably older than some of you guys in the chat right now, maybe. I think Unreal, how old is Unreal? I think Unreal was made in 98, so that would make Unreal 24. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna make these lines smaller, and I think these are the last bits of line work. Oh, sorry. I'm out of water, guys. I'm sorry. We can't do more hydrates. The mug is empty. We got nothing. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please. Yeah, no, you weren't gonna fill that. I knew. You were just teasing me. What are my thoughts on non-photorealistic rendering in games? I'm assuming you mean like what I'm doing, right? Because technically what I'm doing is non-photorealism. I think it is cool. I'm assuming by watering down photorealism you mean like trying to do photorealism but not quite getting there. Because if that's the case, I don't know, I never liked, like, well, it depends. If I could dream up a project, there would be some projects I would want to do realism if I could just do anything I wanted. But I've been always drawn to like striking styles, like non-photorealistic, because I don't know, it just looks cool. Because it's like, why limit yourself to photorealism when you could do anything? Like you could have shadows that are purple instead, or you could have the characters be silhouettes instead of I don't know, like you could do stuff like that, and it's just, you can use it to convey like moods and feelings that you can't. I mean, you could do with realism, but it's not the same. Like you have a unique way of expressing it with the graphics hardware that you have, and you have so many options. Like, yeah, realism is one choice, but you can also do a bunch of stuff. Although I do want to preface it as well. Hold on. More like it being overly used style, like realism being the overly used style, or non-photorealistic. Because if you're saying what I think you're saying, I have noticed that since I started Project Feline, there have been a lot more NPR, the acronym non-photorealistic NPR games coming out. And when I was making Feline, like when I started in 2018, it wasn't really a thing, but I think it's kind of become more popular as 3D engines have become, as more people are learning them. Because now that the Flash era is moving further and further away, more generations of kids and stuff are learning 3D, like Unity, Unreal, and all that stuff. And I think that's kind of leading to more of these stylized games. In particular, at the time I was making Feline, I did notice that like the low poly Crossy Road style was really popular, and I really did not like it because I don't know, I just didn't like the look. It didn't do it for me. But I think one of the reasons I chose anime for mine is because of RPG Maker games, actually. Because I haven't played them, but I see them like on store shelves a lot. These RPG Maker anime visual novel games and stuff, or like just JRPG games. And I'll look at them and they'll have this gorgeous box art, beautiful illustration, but then you turn it over and it's like pixel art. And I'm like, oh, come on, you gotta be kidding. Like, I want the graphics like on the cover. So that was like, so then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny if I made a game that was like what the art style of the cover, like the anime art style, like they promote. Would it be funny if I made the game and that was the style, and then like as a joke, like the box art was in pixel art to reverse it, you know? And then here we are, like 4 years later, actually doing it. So yeah, but I always liked the style. I don't know, ever since I watched Bakugan when I was like 10 or 11, I thought it was really appealing and cool. Why is this not... It's Alt-R, right? Alt-R to update. I feel like those lines should be much thicker, shouldn't they? I'll try one more. Then I'm gonna need to move on because I have 10 minutes left until the end of the day. And we still gotta get this in engine and exported the textures properly. Got a lot to do still. So Alt-R. Okay, now that's too thick. See, it's getting this middle ground. It's like it's too thin and it's too thick, and it's like, what are you gonna do? I think that should be fine. I think. Why is there another? Wait, what's this? Okay. Alt-R. Okay, that's good. We'll leave it there. Awesome. So texturing is now, well, hold on. Let me it's not quite done yet, boys and girls. Let's turn off this layer. And let's just have a look and see how it looks. So it's not going to look exactly right yet. Here's it without the grid. Now there's a few seams, there's some import setting you can do to fix that, but I'm not gonna bother with that right now. This is kind of how it's looking. Now, it looks a little washed out still, and we are now going to address that problem. So this, if you've watched my ILM map texturing Gavi video, this will make sense. If you haven't, this may be very confusing, but I'll try my best to guide you all along through what I'm about to do. So, I have 3 layers groups here that look like this. It looks like green, it looks like red and blue. There's green, red, and blue. There's RGB. You guys all know what RGB is, right? You got red, green, and blue. These are all things that are stored in our texture because they have RGB values. Now, the thing about this anime shader that I wrote, based on the one that Arc System Works did, is that it uses RGB data in a very weirdly specific way, where, let's say, for the sake of argument, for example, that I'm trying to figure out how to demonstrate this the best, because these are the way I've set this up is a little weird. Let me just change this all back to the defaults. So yeah, if I do this, it looks gray approximately, but you see in the RGB panels here, if we switch between these, we get red, green, and blue. And you see how they're different values of gray. And that's the important bit. So with these 3 channels, we can store 3 different types of information. Do you guys know what an alpha map is? An alpha map in a game texture is like a black and white texture. And the black pixels are translucent and the white pixels are opaque. So think of it as like black being like 0, and then white being 1 in terms of a value scale. Now, this shader has 3 properties. It has an occlusion property, which determines how the shadows on the cel-shaded object are distributed. If you have part of a texture, like the bottom of my neck here, for example, if that part of the texture is black, it will mean that light will never reach it, and it will always be shaded. But if I take my eyes and texture those in this map white, it means they will never receive shadow and they will always be lit. And gray is the middle. That's like the default. So there's other things too, like specular. And the specular is a little funky. I still haven't quite figured out the kinks with it yet. So I usually, that's what the blue and red values are for specular. And I'm going to leave those at 0. Because they act a bit funny if it's not a curved object like a character. So I'm going to just set the value to black, which will read no blue or red data, which is the specular data. So if you go to the red channel, you see it's black, and the blue channel, it's also black. But the green channel is gray, and the entire thing is green, because the green channel is the only channel with information, which means it cancels out the other colors and gets us green. Now, in this case, for this model, we can basically leave this gray, more or less. It's like exactly what we're going to leave it as. But we may... But there's another channel as well, actually, because there's red, green, and blue, and then there's alpha, which at the moment is white. Now, the alpha channel is used for all that line work that we drew on just now. That's actually not stored on the base texture, and there's a reason for that, but we won't get into why. It's stored on the alpha channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the line work, put it on the alpha. We're going to export out the occlusion and specular data, and we're going to export shadow data and the base color itself. Now, you might say, Ray, what's shadow data? What does that mean? Well, I have another layer here, which is for a third texture map altogether called the SSS map. And this is named after Arc System Works Convention, which stands for subsurface scattering. And it's not literally subsurface scattering, but it's like the anime version approximating subsurface scattering. And what does that look like in anime? Because anime is like, you know, it's cell shaded. How do you do subsurface scattering in anime? And I'll show you how. If we go to Your Name again, and I keep using this because this is just a gorgeous movie, and it's the only thing I've watched recently. But you'll notice, where's that thing I had that picture I had earlier. Where was that? Yeah, like this picture, all right? Let's take a closer look at the characters. Oh, this isn't the picture. I just want the picture. I don't want the video. I just want the picture, if that's cool. Open image, a new tab. There we go. So let's have a look. You notice how, like, her skin in shadow isn't, like, gray or dark. It's, like, a warm pink. That is subsurface scattering in the anime sense of the word. So the reason this is important to distinguish is because our shader is not going to know to shade the skin that color in shadow, which is why we need to tell it to with this shadow map. That it's basically like the shadow color for if it's in shadow, it'll change it to this color and tint it. Usually it has like a bit of a warm bluish tint, which is why the default template I have, it has a blue tint to it. But we can be a bit more specific with it by doing the following. I'm going to duplicate all the base color. Excuse me. And we're going to put it in the shadow map category. And we're also going to just duplicate these again and merge them. Now, because it's mostly gray, you're not going to really notice much, but I'm going to change the opacity to 50% and change the blend mode to color, so it gets a bit of... And then this, it looks very weird. I get it. It like looks very strange. But this map is going to be the color that tints when the object, the turret in this case, is in shadow. And it looks mostly like the main color you're going to notice is this red. So that's like the red in light, and that's like the tinted red in shadow, but it's going to be darkened a bit as well. But it's going to tint it that bluish color. So that's what that's for. And then there's the line work, which I did all on a separate layer for a reason, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the line art alpha channel and mask... I'm going to mask everything, go to the line art alpha channel and just like fill everything and invert it so that now the alpha channel has the line work on it. And then we can hide it in our actual document. So now if I click on that, you see this red? The red translucent bits is where the line work is, and that gets exported as its own channel that the shader will use. So this probably sounds all very confusing. I get it. I don't really understand how it works fully, but this is the system that we have. I'm just thinking. Yeah, that should be everything. So we are ready to export this now into the required formats. So I'm going to save this document. I'm going to, because we need to save this as a specific file format as well. So we need to combine everything, merge layers, Control-Shift-S to save as, and we're going to select the Targa format. And I've already got a placeholder file named turret.base Targa, and we're just going to replace that. So we're going to press save, we're going to replace it, and we're going to select the lowest resolution one just to save file space, doesn't really make a difference. And now I'm going to make sure that this loads in the right texture file. Just give me one moment. So I'm going to Just get an image. So I'm going to select my loaded object called turret base and select the source file back to the exported Targa file. And you can see there, now it looks not washed out anymore a bit because it's been exported properly. But the line work inside isn't there yet, so we're going to have to add that all back in. So this is where we export the rest of the texture. So we're going to go and open the Photoshop file again. Actually, let me check how big that is, because it might be... Oh, that's a good size, 1024. Now, we're going to do the subsurface shadow map next, because that's pretty easy. We're going to merge layers, Control-Shift-S, Targa, call it turret_SSS, replace, yes, yes. And now if we open this again, open recent. Actually, let me like change the shadow intensity. Okay, that should be good. So if I go and open this again, you see that the shadows have slightly tinted. It wasn't, I know it's not as noticeable right now, but the shadows now, anything that's in shadow is now slightly blue to give it that anime effect. We can actually change what tint it is if we want project-wide, but I like to use the blue tint. That's my personal preference. Now for the last one, the inner line map and the occlusion map. This is the more complicated one, but exporting it is pretty straightforward. We just need to hide everything, turn on these layers, show the alpha map so we can see where the line work is. We then need to merge everything, just like everything else. Control-Shift-S to save as, Targa, turret_ILM, which stands for inner line work, which is in reference to the alpha channel. We then hit save, but in this time we select 32 bits because I've noticed that this doesn't work unless I select 32 bits. And that's it. There's all the textures. So if I go back and reload this, we can see now we have our line work back, and that's pretty cool. And it's all exported to the right formats and everything. So that's basically it. There's the turret model. Now, we're not done yet though, because it's not in the game. So guess what we're going to do right now? We're going to open Unreal. Not Unreal 5, I'm sorry, but Unreal 4, which is in my personal favorite one. And we are going to put this directly into the game, and it's going to look the exact same as it does in Blender. And this is where the fun begins. And then I think we'll be done for today. So give it a second to initialize the world. It's just loading. Any second now. 91%. Come on, 95%. There we go. Yeah, boy. Okay, cool. So now we need to import this in. Firstly, I'm going to go to the characters folder. I'm going to go to the turret folder. I'm going to copy a material instance first, and for a good reason. So I'm going to go to wherever I put my other materials, because I need to make a copy of something. Material, I think it's in placeables. Yeah, we'll just like copy this. So I'm going to copy this just template material to the, because it's technically a character, I guess. We're going to copy this to the turret folder. I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. We're going to rename this MI, which is material instance _ turret. And you might say, well, Ray, why are you making a material? You don't have the textures in yet. We're going to do the textures next. I usually like to do these separately than the model. That's just like how I like to work. So I'm going to drag all three of these in. We're then going to rename these because I use a different naming convention for the Unreal project files. We're going to do T_turret base, and I use T_ as a prefix for all texture files. So we will do that. T_turret base, T_turret ILM, and T_ SSS, turret and SSS. So I'll just add those in. It's gonna like, check source control, whatever, and sync stuff. So it might take a bit for it to get around to renaming these. There we go. So T_, before let's rename them all. Any second now. Just gotta wait for that box to go away. There we go. So we have our our textures imported and ready. Now we are going to open up at this new material that I copy pasted, and we're going to drag it each map to the corresponding variables. And there we go. That's that done. So this is like the material just as a sphere, and it looks really weird here, but when we add the turret in, it's going to look epic, trust me. Also, yeah, we need to export the turret. That's probably a good idea. So we're going to go File, Export, FBX. Actually, before we do that, we should really combine some of these together. So I'm going to like join the body. Well, yeah, let me apply some of these modifiers too while I'm here. So I'm going to apply my mirror modifiers. Because a lot of this, again, is like just mirrored. So I'm just going to merge those two together. So I'm going to take that, and that. That. Control J to join, and now that is all merged as one object. And then we have this as a separate object, which I will keep separate for a good reason. And we'll rename these two. So we'll call this turret underscore base, and then turret underscore shell for the top. So that way, when we import the objects, they will be named as such, because these will get imported as two separate objects in Unreal. Now what? We save, then we export. File, export, FBX. I will go to select mesh only, and then only active collection. I will change this to Y forward. This seems to not to do anything, but I just set to Y forward anyway, because that's what it should be, I think. I'm going to untick bake animation. I don't actually know, none of this will matter because I'm not baking the animations out. And I think that's it. We just hit export. And then, this is where it gets real fun. We are then going to go to Unreal, drag in turret FBX. We're just going to hit smash that import button. We're going to ignore these errors because they aren't important. And now we have our two models. Whoa, look at that. Wow. So we have a turret shell and turret base. So we are now going to assign the materials. Element 1 will be outline, which will get that's what gets us the black outline around the objects. And then this one we'll call it turret, which is what we just made. And boom, whoa, look at that, there we go, pretty cool. And we just do the same for the other object. So we add the outline, let's do that first, and then we do turret, boom. And then we go to the actual blueprint. Now, here's what I have at the... So, for context, now you guys get to see this. This is what the turret looks like now. And we are going to rock this turret's world. We are going to add in... we're gonna give it a glow up, as the kids say. Let's see... There we go. So we're going to drag these two into this folder. Because why not? Now they're going to be rotated off. It always just rotates it the wrong way, and I don't know why, but it's just simple rotate it back to 90 degrees. And there you go, more or less. We might have to adjust the scaling a little bit. So I'm going to hide all these other stuff, like the old mesh. I'll keep it there, but I'm going to hide it. So we'll call turn off visible. And then we will... put these I might have to check because there's like a collision box here. Yeah, the capsule component. So because if you make that bigger, I'm gonna have to change where all these are put. So we'll make this bigger. We'll make it 120. We'll make the radius 120 as well, and we will move these back a little. I don't think the origin is set properly on these, it seems. But that's okay. We'll just do it here. That should be good. All right. Well, actually, I'll see if I can center it a little. Yeah, like that. And that might work. I actually don't know if that'll actually work seamlessly, but we'll try. So we'll need to hop into a level. Now let's have a look. If we go past this area, we should be able to see. Whoa, there he is. Oh, look at that. Look at that guy. Kablam. There we go. And there's no fancy explosions or anything yet. But we got us a turret, guys. So let's kill these. Yeah, so I'm just going to go hide behind this. There it is, an engine. Wow. Wow. As Owen Wilson would say. There we go. Exactly as it looks in Blender. So there we go. Now, keep in mind, this is still not entirely finished. Later, when I get more time, I want to animate this, but we are under a very tight schedule right now, so we will not have the luxury of time to do that. But before the game comes out, we will find the time. But for the submission, this is probably good enough. It's good we got something in there. I might add like a test particle or something at some point later. But yeah, look at this dude. We'll run around. So that must, oh, you know what that means? Oh, let me close some of this stuff. So yeah, let me save everything. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? So that's basically done. Let's check out selected. So I can close Photoshop. I can close Blender. And I can, wait a sec. Yeah, there's all my fog went missing and I accidentally hit something. So let's open, because there's a certain scene. I think you guys will know the level I'm thinking here, with some pretty jazzy, cool stuff. So I'm gonna just save everything, so I can close all that. But yeah, watch this. So we're gonna go. We're gonna open. Oh, sorry, let me close that error log. So we're gonna go to travel block 04. You guys know this level. This is the one with turrets in it. So let's see how threatening they look now, eh? Oh yeah, this also has I don't know if I mentioned for those who are just joining us, but we have more new models, like these collectibles, and new grind rails, and more. There's just some of the stuff. But with the collectibles, I don't think I pointed this out earlier, but these are animated on 2s, just like Gabby is, so they look like they've been like drawn onto the scene. So that's something I did this week. And let's keep going through here. So we got new grind rail, new fan models, which I did this morning. And here we go, here it comes. Oh, look at these guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, we get a load of this. Oh, hold on, yeah, I know this, I understand, I know this area is hard, okay? I die here too. But I haven't programmed the turrets to return to resting position yet. But you know, it has a challenge. You can't have a little something for everyone. You gotta target the hardcore gamers. That's what you do. You make the game unnecessarily difficult for no reason. I'm trying to get like, oh, I just want to look at it. I'm trying to like look at the turret without dying. Oh, okay, I can hide here. Let's get a closer look at this guy. Oh yeah. Look at him. It's a lot bigger. They're a lot bigger than the old ones. So I don't know if well, I guess bigger is better. Bigger could be good. So let's see if I can actually make it past him. Oh wait, I'm stuck. Where? Oh no, I got lost. My camera got clipped. Oh, I keep hitting the wall. Oh no, I can do this. I made this game. I can beat this. I put this turret here. I can do this, right, guys? Right? Oh. I think it's because it's bigger. Its rotation is like less, like it can hit me easier, it feels like. Oh, yes, I got it. Yeah! Epic. All right, well that's that task finished. I can take that off now. And that's a good feeling. So there we go. Turret implemented. Bakugan turret implemented. We now have Bakugan in Project Feline. That's something I never thought I'd say out loud. But we got it. We did it. So what's up next, Ray? What's up next? Well, there's still more to do, of course. I think I've got like one more model left I want to do, which I'll do tomorrow. And then there's like other stuff, a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's like, I'm not sure. I think in terms of the stuff I can stream, that's probably going to be it. I'm probably not going to be back until after the submission. The submission is 9 days now from today. So until then, I'm probably going to be working on like the paperwork stuff. So not much I can stream there because a lot of it's like very sensitive info. So well, I'll tell you what, I'll tweet when we go back to the regular screaming schedule. What am I saying? Yeah, that's what we do, guys. We scream. That's what we come here to do every week. Now, but we'll get back to our normal stream schedule, probably starting next month, most likely. Because after I get the submission in, I'm going to be very flat out tired, and I'm going to need a bit of a break. So Yeah. So May is probably when I get back into the swing of doing streaming every week, Saturday, 12 UTC. But who knows? Something might happen tomorrow. May feel like streaming again. We'll see. If you want to stay notified, you know where to go. You go to twitter.com/RaymondAFCripps and you will follow me there. And then you will see when I go live. Or you join our Discord where I ping everybody. Or, yeah, any of those. But yes, it's going to be, for those who are joining and don't know what's happening at the moment, all of this is for a grant submission because the Australian government has decided they are going to fund the games now, which is epic. But the deadline is less than 2 weeks away, and I have a lot of work to do. So that's most of my work is now done on the development side. But then there's a bunch of administrative stuff to submit, paperwork. Like that's kind of what the next week is going to be for me. So that might be why there might not be as much streaming. But if we make it into this program, and if we make this milestone, and if they say yes, that could be like we could have funded the project, which would be amazing. Like I could keep doing this full time, which would be just a dream come true. So wish us luck. I'm probably not going to see you guys until after because it's just going to be very hectic. So in case we don't see each other again, wish me luck. I hope it goes well. Thanks for joining me for another stream. I appreciate you guys. I know this was off schedule. I know that you have better things to do with your day, but thanks for coming and spending time with me while I did texturing. I appreciate it. Thanks also to everyone who checked out the Hoodie Gabby mug and merch, which is available for 3 more days, I think, as of, because it's like, what, 19th for me now? I'll actually check the exact number for you. But if you are interested in supporting the game, because I don't know, we may not make this grant, and if we don't, buying merch would be a great way to support us. But there is 4 days left. Project Feline, well actually there's 2 URLs. Go shop.projectfeline.com or projectfeline.com/shop. Either works. And check that out. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, mainly not like that's not really mandatory at all. But if you do like the design, this will be the last chance you'll be able to get it. So I just want to make that clear because they are going after 4 days. So anyway, thanks all for coming. Thanks for Real FD, my man, being real again. Very cool. Thanks also, sorry I missed your message there, Diablo, for subscribing with Prime. I was just kind of in the zone there. But thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be all. So I'll see you guys on Discord probably. I'm going to be posting little bits for you guys. For everyone else, I will catch you after the submission probably, unless something happens. So yeah, thanks all for coming. I'll see you later.